We're live.
Howdy.
I am alive. How are you, Angela?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Deanna's with us.
Nice.
I'm well. Yeah, I'm weird. I feel a little weird today. I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
I feel a little. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like, I guess it's the end of the year. I'm feeling like a little off kilter. Feeling a little off kilter. Why does our audio look like it's so low?
What happened?
I don't know. It's weird.
Can everybody hear you?
Let me just fix it if I can. I don't know why that would be happening because this is all right. Well, let me get it sorted.
I think we have gremlins.
It's true. We might have gremlins.
Gremlins that mess with your audio.
Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. Anyway, I wouldn't mind if you kept talking so that I could set these levels. Hey, Angela.
Yes. Hi. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
You
James
setting levels?
Cameron. James Cameron, bro. You can't doubt this guy. He cannot be doubted. James Cameron can't be doubted, no matter what.
I think that if you manage to build a submarine and then plumb the depths of the Mariana Trench, that you earn the distinction of not being doubted.
He is.
I think that if you manage to be one of the only people in all of mankind who has seen the bottom of the ocean.
I can't fucking believe this guy, man.
I know.
$750 million in 2 weekends.
Uh-huh.
$750 million. And he was whining about it.
Well, why did you doubt him? I mean, he's been to the bottom of the ocean.
He was doubting him. I was doubting him because he was doubting him.
He was complaining a lot.
He was whining about not, he was like, yeah, it sounded like the movie was tracking terribly.
He went on a complaint tour.
He went on a wine tour. He was like talking about how he's going to like, whatever, do a press release or write a couple of books. I mean, he was just, can you imagine how painful that would be, a book by James Cameron? Oh my God. Not for me, thank you. Not for me.
You don't think it'd be interesting?
A book like a fiction book, a novel from James Cameron? No.
But I thought he was just doing like the Avatar, right?
Yeah, still, that's still like, I mean, if he did it in graphic novels or something, then maybe.
Yeah.
But if he's going to sit there and try to put us through his writing, in a long form narrative, that doesn't sound appealing at all to me. Now, maybe he pulls something off that nobody knows of. I think he better, he's better a filmmaker than he is a writer. This is just a guess, but I think there's a reason why he hasn't yet so far. Cause the guy's done everything he's ever, even like had an inkling toward, but I think he kind of knows what he is for the most part. What's up, Delicate? Good to see you. Hope you're well. A scientist is here. Happy. Right?
Happy end of the year, I guess.
Yeah, there's lots.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening.
Lots going on. Lots of,
You ready to turn over a new leaf?
No, why? What? What's wrong with my old leaf? I like my old leaf.
I like their perspective.
Yeah. No, I don't need a new leaf. I think, some.
What's the matter with my old leaf?
What the fuck is wrong with my old leaf? It's fine.
I like my leaves.
I'm at that age now where I like all my old shit.
You can say that at any age, by the way. I've discovered that you can say, I'm at that age now.
You can, yeah.
And you can say that no matter what age you are.
Be a great line in a movie coming from some 4-year-old. I'm at the age now where I'm starting to think more about the way you and I communicate.
You have to say it with a speech impediment, though, like every 4-year-old.
I know. Well, I was going to do that. Kindly DiCaprio is asking if we like Stranger Things, and the answer is we don't.
Nope.
But the truth is, I haven't. I never gave it beyond the first season.
Dude, they're saying that the newest season is written by AI.
Oh.
And that's why the actors performing the scenes are doing such a terrible job.
Well, I hope that's not true.
I haven't seen it, so I'm only gossiping about other people's judgments.
May it not be true. That's all I can say about that. I hope that's not true. We talked about Tyler Perry. The same thing that happened the first time is happening again this time. The first time he got allegations against him, he then produced texts that definitely made it look as though the person accusing him didn't have much to stand on. And then that case did end up going away. Right?
Going away, like he settled?
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what happened, but it went away fast. And basically the same thing has happened again. So Tyler got accused and sued.
Last time he basically framed it as like a shakedown. Do you
Yes,
think
and
that he's saying the same thing?
yeah. Well, so then he released this text. Do you want to hear it? He released a text that comes from
Who's he?
Tyler Perry.
Okay.
Released a text that comes from this complainant, right? Who claims that he was mishandled. It says, from him, Mario Rodriguez to Rodriguez. He's a hot brother. Did you see him?
Yeah.
Dude's like chiseled. He looks like somebody. It looks like a drawing.
He's your type?
He's not my type, no. But I can understand why you'd be many other types. You know, Tyler Perry's type, for example. He writes to Tyler Perry. He says, "Brother, haven't been feeling okay, confused and a little nauseous. I got blood work. Thinks it's my teeth. I know it's none of your business. I don't know what do. I promised you I would never ask you for anything. But if it is what I think it is, I don't think I could do it on my own because I barely pay my bills. Scared as fuck. I don't want to get sepsis like my dad and pass away. I don't even want to mention it because I don't want to make it real. Feel sick most days. Never told anyone this, but my mom and everybody is starting to notice my broke ass. Don't have insurance. I'll never lie to you, but I think that's what's wrong. My dentist is supposed to take care of it in Beverly Hills, but he's in prison for fraud.
What?
I've always been healthy, but lately I've been waking up confused and dizzy and a bunch of stuff. I just can't go to the doctor because I can't even afford it. I don't want anything. I just want to be okay. Scared, brother."
Wow.
So this is, I guess, produced by Tyler Perry's defense.
But he's not outright asking for money.
Well, he is. I'd say that's an outright request.
But he's
for money.
not saying I need $12,000.
I promised you
date.
I would never ask you for anything, but it is what it is. I don't think I could do it on my own because I barely pay my own bills. Scared as fuck, and I don't want to get sepsis like my dad did and pass away.
Yeah.
So not only is he asking for money, but he's saying if you don't give it to me, I could die. He's definitely asking for money and suggesting he might die, or that there's a outside possibility that he might die if he doesn't get it.
I just feel like this is kind of like a sleazy tactic that you could play if you were an offender and your victim tried to bring you to justice.
Yeah.
And you could just pull out some texts where they asked you for money before, and it doesn't mean that you're innocent. It doesn't mean that they're lying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I just feel like it's the oldest trick in the book. I'm not saying this isn't happening, but I'm just saying it's a really sleazy tactic that doesn't really solicit confidence in Tyler Perry, right? Because he is basically an ad hominem attack, where he's like, look at this guy's broke and he just wants money from me. So don't worry about investigating his actual allegations, Right. Like, it's where he's like, don't worry about what he's actually claiming. We don't even have to discuss that. Wink, wink. Because this guy asked me for money. And so that's obviously what this is about.
Well, the thing that struck me, because it happened like twice in a row with this guy, with Tyler Perry.
They sound similar, don't they?
And like the whole, like, it's the same chess game on both ends.
Yeah.
So it just tells me so that tells me like the move before that was the same.
Yeah.
So I just, so it's just playing out exactly the same. So, and if this goes away, it'll be very interesting because it just seems as though he's found a way to set it up to entice them with the life, to entice them with his life.
Overtly, too.
Where
he's saying, like, I'm a good person to know.
Yeah. And then they bite. They're like, nobble, nobble. Okay, whatever. And
novel,
they're like,
novel.
Yeah, I don't know why I went novel. Is that even a word? I'm
no,
not even
but
sure
I think
how
it's
to spell
amazing
it.
because if you think about the English slang for knob,
yeah,
it's stiff.
Maybe it was novel.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Dale.
You don't want to went there with the knob bit. So I'm just saying that, like, it's just so interesting that this is played out the same way. It does feel like the same setup is coming, which is that these guys had a feeling that they were going to like give it up for this guy. Because if you look at this guy and you look at how steadily he is, it's clearly his commodity. Like, it's his commodity. It's clearly the thing he has to trade. You know what I mean?
He knows what his moneymaker is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's his moneymaker. It's the thing he has to trade. He's a model.
Yeah,
he's
but
a
that doesn't mean that
prostitute,
he's not
a
also
whatever.
a fucking victim. I mean, this is the thing that I hate so
Absolutely
much
not.
about
Of course
this.
not. Yeah.
Like, if I was accused and I was wrongly accused and I was like, oh my God, these people are lying about me and I'm being framed for something I didn't do. The last fucking thing you would ever hear about me is hear from me is some fucking distraction about how some guy asked me for money and I'm saying that it's a shakedown. I would never. I would be like, I am innocent of these. Let's focus on what the claims are because I'm innocent of them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go distracting from it because it sounds so. That makes a person look so guilty. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Am I tripping? I guess that's how it always works, though. It's like everybody always buys the distraction. You know, if the defendant just makes a statement that says that this person is not credible, they're expecting everybody in the public to just run with it, and that's been the case, right? Like Baldoni was like, no, she tried to take over my movie, forgetting the fact that she didn't take over anything. He didn't lose anything.
Right.
Forgetting the facts.
Well, they're trying to say it was creatively.
She's never in a position of power or control anyway. Forget all that, but people ran with it anyway because he just said the thing. So maybe Tyler Perry's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'll win in the court of public opinion because I'll give anybody any stupid distraction and they'll take it.
Yeah.
It's not going to work on me, though.
Layla's back. She said that she thinks the book is very well written, but not sure that I'm to be believed.
Well, okay.
However, it is skillfully crafted. So she's basically saying you could be a skillfully crafty.
So you're just
a skilled crafty liar.
Master manipulator.
I don't know.
You know what's interesting is that after you read the book and you think about, okay, if Dale is difficult to believe, then think about the alternative story about what happened. Okay. Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio want you to believe that Dale tried to turn a short into a feature and tricked his friends, and that they were completely like it was unbeknownst to them. They were totally in the dark about what their very close friends were creating, starring them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That the MGM screening never happened. And that Dale and RD and the producers never had a meeting with CAA at Leo's behest afterwards. That if for their story to work, none of those events could not have happened.
Literally, the room is packed in pretty much everything in the book, with the exception of the nut milk incident. And I think that might be it.
No, every event happened.
Well, there's like conversations between me and RD and shit like that or whatever. And even conversations between me and Leo and other people that weren't there. But none of those were of grave consequence.
Every event having to do with the film.
Yes.
The room is packed with people.
Packed with people.
Who are also witnesses to what you're claiming
Correct.
happened.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I mean, they're packed with people. I don't know what else to do except to name everybody who was in the room and say what happened. And you know, if you can't find that believable, then
none of them were talking. By the way,
I don't know what to tell you. Like literally, none of the
and
there's obviously the me and Toby conversation that happened all night. Which even if you take that conversation and you delete it from my book, as in terms of like, or just from the story, not from my book.
Say that it's completely made up.
Just get rid of it. It didn't even happen.
Okay.
And you just have the situation where the accusation is, or the accusations are, that we were going to A, pit the press against Leonardo DiCaprio, and B, we were turning a short film into a feature film. You take those two accusations, which are just stunningly absurd. Uh-huh. I'm literally in a powerless, like, it's just so, it's so laughable.
Thinking you have connections to the press.
I'm this literally powerless, like I have no power. I have no power. I have no influence. I have no friends beyond them. They are my friends. They are my connection to the entire, they knew that. That's why they took it away. It was the... So yeah, I don't know what more I can tell you except that everybody was in the fucking room with me and I named them. You know, I wrote a book and I named everybody. This is the difficulty of my life and my situation and the power of people like Leonardo DiCaprio.
With their publicity machine.
All it is their publicity machine. There's no reason. I spend more time with Leonardo DiCaprio fans than Leonardo DiCaprio ever has in his entire career. I spend more time with them. I write them almost every day. They write to me almost every single day. They show up to these lives almost every single fucking day. I have a history of over 14, almost 15 fucking years of speaking directly on almost a daily basis with Leonardo DiCaprio fans. I am the front-facing story of the truth the whole time. They haven't said anything except Dale's a thief and a liar. That's all they said. Didn't bring any fucking actual, like, Dale's a liar because this didn't happen because of that, or whatever. Mm-hmm. They brought absolutely nothing except substanceless accusations that I am a liar and that I am a thief. That's all they said. That's all Leonardo DiCaprio said. That's that encompasses his entire statement. And yet I still have people who are reading the book, finding it entertaining and skilled and all that other stuff, which is really fucking flattering. And thank you very much for that. But still can't find
but somehow he's
the truth.
He's more credible saying absolutely nothing.
Saying absolutely nothing. Yeah. He says nothing, and he's more credible than I am, telling my fucking story with all the names listed. Like, I held nothing back in this. Very specifically because I'm so sick and fucking tired of people trying to tell me or trying to paint some picture that I am somehow some kind of fucking liar and some kind of thief. Me, who sits with nothing, who has lived in nothing but pain and suffering through all of this, while they eat their foie gras and buy their fucking 150-foot yachts and hang out with their fucking multi-billionaires and do all that shit, claiming to be a victim of mine. Claiming to be a victim of mine. Like, I just can't believe how absolutely distorted people can get just by being a fan of somebody. Like how being a fan can distort everything and allow you to reconstruct reality in order to facilitate that fucking love and admiration and reverie that you have for one fucking human being on the planet that has done nothing for you but entertain. He's just been your entertainer. He's done nothing. But you're so devout that you would come onto my fucking channel and put into doubt my fucking integrity when I'm the only one who's actually showing any. It's just the most amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, really. I guess it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
It's like, it's the fucking mountain I climb every day. It's the mountain I have to fucking climb every day. Every day. It's why I fucking, it's why I'm sitting here with fucking egg on my face and fucking rent to pay. It's because this guy, he can fucking, shit on your doorstep and you'd blame me for it. You can see him do it and you'd be like, that was you. That was you. That was you.
Shit on your doorstep. I hope not. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the tabloids put out a video, somebody's Ring camera caught Leonardo DiCaprio shitting on their doorstep?
He's all crouched up.
And then he does his publicist release a statement. Actually, that was Dale Wheatley. Actually, very clearly you can see that it's Dale Wheatley.
It's very clearly Dale Wheatley looking like Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's dressed up like him, an imposter. Well, I'm so sorry that you struggle so much with this, but that was entertaining for what it's worth.
It's exhausting though. It really is. Layla says, well, she just doesn't know who to believe because we both have opposing stories. He doesn't have a story. He hasn't told any story. Never told a story. What's his story? Who told you his story? I'm the only one who's told his story. There is no story from him. The absurdity of us turning a short into a feature is not a story. That's a ridiculous and baseless accusation. The story that we pitted the press against him is a baseless accusation. It has no actual foundation, no actual fact. There's nothing supporting it whatsoever. It's just, these are just silly statements made by a guy who,
I guess he told a story in his deposition. The question in his deposition was, why do you care if Dawn's Plum got released?
Why do I care? Why do I care?
Mm-hmm. That's what he says. Yeah. So DiCaprio is explaining, he talks about like how, it's like the integrity of turning a short into a feature.
Yeah.
Like, brother, how? How do you suspect that happened?
The sad and sort of frustrating thing for me is like if Leonardo DiCaprio had said at that MGM screening, right, guys, I think he did a great job, but I have my issues, and I'm not sure I can let this thing go. If he'd have said that, that would have been the situation I was dealing with, and it would have been totally cool. But that's not what happened. What happened was that he jumped out of his seat laughing hysterically. He realized that not only did we pull off a good movie, but we created an opportunity for every single person in that room sitting in those seats watching the movie that we made together. And he knew that. And that's why he gave us a hug, said we did a fucking amazing job, despite the fact that we had some tension going into the moment, and then asked us to go and screen it for his agents. This is all in the book. It's very laid out. All the names are named. There's also these that also support it. These are, I don't want to pull that one out because it's going to fall apart.
No, there's one on the very top.
No, it's not thick enough.
Okay.
What a thick one. These are depositions. These are depositions. I use these to assist myself in and to refresh my memory, sorry. And to refresh my memory. These are my depositions. I have Artie Robb, Kevin Connolly, Scott, no, I don't have Scott Bloom, John Schindler, David Stutman, myself, obviously DiCaprio, Maguire. I have fucking Kevin Connolly. I have Ethan Suplee. I have Artie Glacken. I have them all of these. These are all depositions telling the same fucking story. It's the same story over and over again. They've done nothing but lie and cheat. They're the ones who are thieves. They are the thieves. And they have projected that shit onto me. And it's easy for you to buy because you love them so much. And you don't know me from fucking anybody. And so what did I do? I poured my heart and soul out into my book with the hopes that at least some will see it for what it really is. You know?
I just noticed that your book isn't in your frame.
Yeah, well, I'll just put it here for the rest of the night. I'll just hold it. I'll cry on it. Why? Honestly, Layla, you know, the truth is that while I would love the world to believe me, I recognize that people just they can't get out of. You know, sometimes the truth doesn't matter to anybody, even when it's staring them in the face. And you know, maybe it's because he's such a great fan. Maybe it's just because he's such a great entertainer, or maybe it's because, but it's not because of what's in the book. You know, I was so clear about, you know, my biggest intention, the reason why I didn't use lawyers and publicists and publishers, but for the one agent that I did send to, and two agents that I submitted to. But the reason why I was very cautious about doing anything like that was because I knew that they would come at the editing of the book. They would come for the editing of the book, and I wasn't going to let that happen. You know, just wasn't going to let that happen. You know, that's it. You know, the interesting thing about well, I don't know where you are in the book. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't.
Well, Layla's apologizing. Didn't mean to be offensive.
You're good. It's fine. Listen, you're not alone in this. No Two Trolls is here. What's up? It's good to see you. But Layla, yeah, you're not alone. It's not you in general that I'm, you know, I don't mind that you asked the question the way you did even. And, you know, and I know I can be very fucking emotional and passionate about this thing because it's obviously been, it's killing me on a daily basis, mostly, you know, I mean, mostly this thing has just been taking from my life, you know, and a part of the writing of the book was to try to end some of that, you know, some of that pain and some of that suffering. And then, you know, if in the end I can also, you know, bring a few people to my side of the fence, I wouldn't mind it, you know. It's been fucking a lonely 30 years. Let's move on, but thank you for reading. It really does mean the world to me that you're reading, and that you're enjoying it means even more to me than you can possibly imagine. It's just, you know, I knew that, you know, just telling my story, and I knew I owed all of you, those who would read it, you know, something for your time. And so that's why I spent 4 years. That's why I didn't sit around and rush through this. And, you know, that's why I like carefully considered every word that I put in that book. And it's not a perfect book. And, you know, I'm not a perfect writer. Angela's not a perfect editor.
I am a perfect editor.
My bad. But we put out a good piece of work. We're proud of it.
Deanne said that it's a credibility issue in your case if the depositions of the plaintiffs all match up and then Leo and Toby's are not consistent. It is really interesting. When I was reading through the depositions, I was like, wow, would you look at that? Producer David Stutman, producer Jerry Metters, director Artie Robb, and producer Dale Wheatley all tell the same story. David Stutman wasn't around for many of the events, but when he hears about something and he's asked about what he heard, and he heard from you guys, it's all the same as what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, there's Kevin Connolly, Ethan Suplee, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire. None of their stories match up.
Yeah.
But there are things that they admit to, which definitely makes them liable, right? Like,
should certainly.
I mean, would have if the trial, if it had gone to trial, right? Like Kevin Connolly admits to going to your friends and associates and saying there's a line in the sand. You're either on Dale or RD's side or you're on Leo and Toby's side. Pick one. Yeah. So that you become ostracized in your social groups. Tobey Maguire does admit to going to Jersey Films and poaching RD's 3-picture deal that he had just gotten by bad-mouthing him and telling them lies about him. Yeah. He admits to doing that, Tobey Maguire.
He does.
Tobey Maguire also admits to wishing that he had connections to the mob so that he could have Artie Robb killed. Correct. He admits that to Jerry Metters.
He does.
Jerry Metters tells the story and Tobey Maguire tells the story. Tobey Maguire's version just says that he was joking.
And although Metters didn't, I think, clarify that in his deposition, or if he did, great. But he has clarified it to me on more than one occasion, and on each of those occasions, he said that Tobey Maguire was not kidding. And he was like, there was no way to interpret that as kidding.
Also, Tobey Maguire does admit that he verbally abused loudly enough for everybody to hear at an industry event one of your friends who had maintained a relationship with you guys and was defending you socially, right?
Yes.
So he singled him out and berated him in this huge industry event for everybody to hear.
For supporting us, yeah.
And then R.D. Robb's depositions includes that that a producer who had witnessed this outburst reached out to Artie's mom, who was his manager, and said, "I would never work with your son just because I don't want to deal with Tobey Maguire being insane about it." You know?
Yeah.
And it was just like
Phil Raskin, who was, by the way, one of the most powerful people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like on the agent side of the business, like he ran Endeavor, which is now William Morris Endeavor.
Yeah.
Like they were, they merged with, and it was a merger because he ended up running the whole show at first. Now there's a new CEO.
So he's admitting that the intimidation tactic that Tobey Maguire put on one of your remaining friends worked.
Yeah, for sure.
And Tobey admits to doing it. He doesn't have a problem with the story of him loudly confronting Joel Megley. I just think it's just like what they do tell the truth about is the stuff that makes them look like irredeemable assholes, right? Who like deliberately destroyed you guys' reputation in town and destroyed your business, but can never articulate why they did it. Like nobody is telling a story about how they were wronged, when they learned they were wronged, how they could possibly be continuously participating in the making of a feature film and somehow not know that it was a feature the whole time. Like they were being tricked somehow, but they're constantly around you guys and talking about it. You know, like, DiCaprio had to say, I don't recall about every single instance where he was in a social group with you guys after a certain date. After the first shoot, he had to deny that he ever hung out with you guys again because it would have been too obvious that you guys had been discussing the film and that he would know it was a feature film after that date. So he had to just complete in his deposition. He had to be like, I don't recall. It's all the way through a whole series of questions about hanging out with you guys when you have evidence from everybody else that it happened.
Yeah.
So it's just their story just doesn't match up.
Yeah, everything happened in this book, and that I chose to include, and of course it did. And you have to remember, I put this book out September 10th, 2024. Leonardo DiCaprio's people read it right away. Like, I mean, but before the end of September, that book was read by all of the major important
You're assuming,
people.
Right? Or do you know?
It's like, yes, while it's technically an assumption, it's the safest assumption I can make. I know the business. I know that they wouldn't hesitate a second to read a book, especially one that has Emily Foster in it. So that has happened, and they have chosen to not pursue any kind of injunctive relief. They have not looked for any kind of clarity yet. Now they still may. I mean, they can still sue me, but as of this minute, they have not. And if they do, I feel confident that I can prove the 90% that I need to. By that I mean that there's a he said, she said element to two parts of the book, both with Toby. Those are the only two that I don't have any other proof of other than what I said to Toby and what Toby said to me. My interpretation of it, whatever you want to call it. But everything that happened had witnesses. So there'll be variations to the story. Like, for example, Emily Foster, I've said this before in the live, but Emily Foster RD is convinced, for example, that happened in his bedroom and not mine.
Yeah, right. Little details.
Pretty sure he's wrong about that.
But nobody denies it happened.
But it happened.
Right.
Yeah. So there are going to be there's going to be those differences in our memory, which is common in memory. Remember, like, it's funny to say, but it's important to recognize that memory is a very personal thing. So what matters, and this is what I talk about. If you didn't read the opening to the book, the preface, it's only a couple of pages. I tried to keep it brief. But in it, I speak very specifically about, my understanding of my responsibility to tell this story truthfully, and that my responsibility lies in sum and substance. So sum and substance, legally speaking, is the core facts and details around a situation that defines that situation. And would be in truth, right? Mm-hmm. So, whatever we have a Christmas mishap, right? And we each have a Chris mishap. Chris mishap. And we each have our versions of the story of it, but the core of the story is the same. Somebody broke a leg, we'll say, right?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, I think is the story you're trying.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, right? So you with one eye closed and
What?
Yeah, guys, there's no need to rise to any, like, let's be friendly about this whole thing. I know I got a little whatever emotional, but Layla's a friend, man. Layla's a friend. She's a friend. And she's allowed to ask the question. And this is important also. I have to make sure that, and I know I get excited about it. Because for 30 fucking years, I've been dealing with this. For 30 years, I've been dealing with people just not believing me, not even my own family. It's not even my own family, bro. So this is like, that's why I'm like, nobody should get ornery with anyone who takes umbrage with what I've said.
Yeah, it's also really useful to recognize that understanding is a process, right? So like if Layla's like, I don't know, I have these doubts still, let me talk them through, right? Like that is a process through which we all gain understanding about a thing.
Yes.
I don't think it's bad or negative.
It's not.
I think it's really awesome.
I think the only reason why maybe
like
people I'm sorry.
I think it's really awesome when people are like exploring their thoughts and debating other people and trying to refine how they feel about a thing. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing.
I think the reason why somebody might have been like, why there might be some testiness or something like that is just because, like, look, if you say, I don't know if you can be believed, that sounds confrontational, or it sounds highly doubtful of the person.
But that's no big deal to you though, because these people don't know you. They don't know if you're.
Well, obviously, look, I mean, it's a sort of double-edged sword that way, like, or not double-edged sword, but there's two ends to that. There's the one end which doesn't matter, and then there's the end that does. There's the end where like getting a Leonardo DiCaprio fan to read my book is a huge, big deal for me. That's a big deal. And I know that, there's a good chance there's going to be more angry at me than anything else by the end of it. And so that's the risk I took. But I wasn't going to lie about it.
How could anybody be angry with you when when you wrote the hot tub scene?
The hot tub scene is,
if you're a Leonardo DiCaprio fan and you're mad at Dale when he's given you the gift of the hot tub scene.
Actually, it's one of my fondest memories of that guy. It's one of my fondest memories of that guy. I swear to God.
Where he's just like making everybody laugh.
It was just he was so funny. And he was just it was just a really great moment for him and whatever. I'm sure he's had 1,000 of them, but it was a good one. Anyway,
I think that this part of the chat is interesting.
Yeah.
Layla says, I think overall I will believe you, but that does also mean that Leo is lying outright.
Yes, he is.
And then Deanne said, lying by omission or casting doubt is still lying.
It is.
And Dale did not do a smear campaign.
Nope. No, and neither am I, I mean.
Layla says, that's true. I didn't think that you're a thief or a liar.
Yeah, I would just if I was, I would, obviously be very unsuccessful at it.
Yeah, Delicate said, also, if you were not to be believed, you would have been sued by them for your book by now.
I would think so, especially before.
It's not like he doesn't have the resources.
Yeah, come on. And before his big movie came out, I let it go a year before the Paul Thomas Anderson movie so that he could get rid of this thing as soon as he needed to. Because the truth is that I'm cool with him coming after me for this. I have my receipts, you know? I have texts,
you're saying that
I have phone calls, I have
you're
all
saying
kinds
that,
of shit.
that you would be interested in opening up Discovery.
I have no issue with him challenging anything I've written. None. I don't have any issue with anyone whose name appears in my book challenging anything I have written. None. I have no issue with it. Let's do it. I am afraid of, that doesn't mean I'm going to win because, dude, the world is a crooked place.
That's true.
But I told the truth. And I'm not afraid of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to hide from the fucking truth anymore. And you know what? If Leonardo DiCaprio wants to make a public statement in the New York fucking Post documentary and call me a thief and a liar, then he can fucking live with the truth that's in this book, and he can try his best to try and fucking call me a thief and a liar now.
I remember when that happened, and you and I both were like, because, you know, like, I'm your partner. You've told me stories, right? And I was like, but does he forget that you're keeping so many secrets for him? It just seems so foolish to me to like prod you.
Cosmic Urgency is not wrong when he says that they're not going to sue me unless the book gets big enough attention, because otherwise it'll just bring attention to it. There's some reality to that, but or that, you know, that's certainly a strategy. But then let them sue me. You know, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm open to that. Like, not open to it. I mean, I'm down with it. You know, I mean, obviously I'll have to, you know, turn this channel into, from a Blake Lively channel into a Dale's Begging for fucking legal funds channel.
Yeah.
But you know, I think I'll be able to find some support, and because I would love nothing more than to fucking get this thing sorted out once and for fucking all, and clear my name, you know, forever. You know,
Layla Kennedy 5 is saying, especially if the screening definitely happened.
I mean, you know,
this is the thing for me. That's the one event where I'm like, okay, well, for any of their story to make sense, it means that that the MGM screening could not have been the success that it was.
Correct.
That after the MGM screening, you could not have gone to CAA, because
those are the two things.
It's not like you're making a meeting at CAA. Like, they're only going to screen your movie because their client has brought it to them. You know, it's like that. It just doesn't work any other way.
Those are the two things. That's it. That's the crux of everything. Is, did Leonardo DiCaprio attend a screening, June 25th, I think it was,
where he saw the feature film?
Where he saw the feature film.
Yep.
Did he then direct us to screen that movie for his agents at CAA? And did they then engage in representation of the film and the director? And the answer is yes to those across the board. It's just yes to those, and that's it. The end of it. So then now look, you can make up everything you want or whatever. Say we're all lying and they're telling the truth. Doesn't matter. There's no take backsies. You know, when you fucking make deals, we made deals. We move forward. We signed agents.
Yeah, if it was about
we were making deals with distributors.
If it was about his approval, then he saw the film as a feature film and he approved.
And by the way,
I kept this timeline. I just wanted to point this out.
Before you do, I just want to point out that the deal was always based on the quality of the film. It was never that Leo had veto rights on the movie, and that's what he tried to assert. And it just never did. It's just never like that. The only fucking stipulation that he had that gave him any rights to the film was that if we did anything that he felt was going to be embarrassing, or that would in any way hinder his career, that he or his representation thought would hinder his career, we wouldn't go out with it. And none of that happened.
Okay, so here's the timeline that I've been keeping. Okay, so in 1996, on June 21st, the MGM screening happened. Okay?
Yeah.
June 27th of that year, the CAA screening happened. So it was in that same week, right? So the 21st was the MGM screening. The 27th was the CAA screening. Then you have a Miramax screening. Then you guys spend 4th of July at in the Hamptons with a CAA agent, Ken Parks, right? Everything's golden. And then it was July 15th when Toby confronts you in front of Leo, and all of your friends split up.
Yeah.
But then there's more screenings after this, so it hadn't even. So, like, July 24th, you screen Don's Plum for Toby's agents. July 31st, Metters meets with First Look Pictures, Robbie Little. And then August 2nd, Metters meets with Trimark. So you're still trying to distribute it. You know?
Well, those were all follow-up meetings.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Trying to, like, save the deals kind of stuff, you know?
It's interesting.
It's been, it's been a crazy time. Gluck 18 said, I've read your book and your story adds up. Well, thank you for saying so. Listen, man, I did the best I could to tell the truth and make it entertaining and enjoyable at the same time. And I love the movie that we made, and I'm sick of living in any kind of shame or regret over it. You know what I mean? We made a great movie. It's not like, it's not Scorsese. It's not fucking Francis Ford Coppola in his prime. It's fucking Artie Robb and Dale Wheatley. And it was a fucking little scrappy fucking movie that we're in the company of Sean Baker. We're in the company, like early Sean Baker. We're in the company of fucking Kevin Smith. We're in the company of Harmony Korine. We're in the company of fucking, those kinds of filmmakers, early fucking Aronofsky and all those guys. You know what I mean? Just popping up. Todd Solondz, these were the guys that we would be sitting at, where's Dale and RD sitting? Well, they're at the table with those guys, the Jim Jarmusch's and these kinds of people, I'm not comparing us in terms of talent, just the company we would keep, like you don't have to compare one band to another for both bands to be good. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Jim Jarmusch is a master. Yeah. We were just fledgling artists, but we were both coming up with relevant and cool shit, and we'd continue to do so. Yeah, Altman and Godard, fucking beautiful, man. I love this because Altman and Godard is really what we, I think, compare to most. It's just, I don't usually bring up Altman and Godard because most people don't really know Altman or Godard. Altman they'll know because they're like, I can't think of like a popular Altman movie that like people would know. I can't even think of one. Certainly not Shortcuts. I don't know. Whatever. It's not going to be like MASH because nobody saw that. They all watched the television series. It's a Donald Sutherland movie that was fucking brilliant though. They're not going to think about like all the later Altman works with like Meryl Streep and shit, all that really great, what was it, Gosford Park or whatever. Some great shit back then. Anyway, yeah, but that you're spot on. Godard, as a matter of fact, who was it? Well, look, when we screened it for Toby's Agents, I was not there for this. Jerry Metters was there for this. But I heard this from multiple people who were at the screening. I did not go to the screening because there was a chance that Tobey Maguire would be there. And if Tobey Maguire was
This was after the bashing.
This was after the bashing.
Yeah.
So if Tobey Maguire was there, it was pretty much...
You were going to fight.
That was going to be a bad scene. That was just going to like ruin everything.
So they were like, maybe you sit this one out, Dale.
It was like, let's keep these guys away from each other because the last time he and I saw each other, we tried to kill each other. You know what I mean? So, Prairie Home Companion, thank you. Yeah, exactly. We screened the movie for his agents. At the end of the movie, Old Man Gersh is what somebody called him to me. Phil Gersh, he's the founder of Gersh, one of the largest, most prestigious agencies in Hollywood, stood up and with a pumping fist shouted, "Avant-garde, avant-garde!" Like how cool is that? To like bring that man out of his seat. And that's a cool thing about like Don's Plum is, when it really existed, like a lot of people think about Don's Plum in today's sort of framing, right? Which is this embattled movie that Leonardo DiCaprio tried to stop you from seeing because it's shitty and they turned a short into a feature and they're totally bad people. But when we were showing it to Hollywood, when we were coming out with it, everybody was neutral on us. They didn't know us from good or bad. And in fact, most people liked us because they were, a lot of them, either friends with us or knew, we had, a single degree of separation from friends. So we had, a lot of mutual reception all over town. So the movie was received in also the context of this sort of Renaissance period of independence.
It was so great.
It was one of the great times in independent film history. And so it was in that moment where, if something kind of that had a fresh take on independent film hit the fucking screen, people got super excited because it was a hard thing to do, is to come up with something that nobody else was doing, or to be so fucking good that what you did, even though it was somewhat in the same vein of a lot of the stuff coming out in the same period, it stood out by its, exemplary work. But, with Don's Plum, what Don's Plum did was it kind of turned the industry on its ear, because it was like, these guys made the movie in 6 fucking days with a major fucking Academy Award nominated talent. It's raw, it's gritty, it's nonlinear, and, and it speaks to the core and the soul more than it speaks to, a story or a strict narrative. And so it brought all these really great, and obviously, creating a timelessness in black and white that was, either, bitter to some or sweet to others. And I guess probably depends on the time of day you were born. Because we, born in the night, love a good black and white.
All Scientist said, I fully admit that Leo has creeped me out for decades, so I was biased to believe he'd be up to some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, Leo hasn't helped himself, this is the thing, He hasn't helped himself. I got to tell you, man, when I was hanging out with that dude, I thought he was one of the great dudes, man. I really did. And obviously a lot of it was reverence. And I thought I could set that aside in the same way that I felt like I dealt with my childhood trauma. I was like, walking around like, yeah, my childhood trauma was nothing, bro. I got that shit. 20 years later, I'm crippled by it. Do you know what I mean? So, it's, what a ride, man. I feel like 2026 is going to be very interesting for me and for that book, but we'll see what happens. I do hope that Leo fans will read it and will embrace it for what it is, which is at the very least, it's a look into the life and times of the clique of friends formerly known as the Pussy Posse.
Yeah, I think that's a really valuable aspect of your book because it really does transport you. So if you're the sort of person that's interested in 90s Hollywood, if you're like a 90s independent film nerd and you want to know how people made them, it's a really great insight. Hinata said that they would not sue because the facts written in the book might be proven correct in a court of law, and that would be a bigger problem.
Well, 100%, which would be, here's the things that really fuck them, because Emily Foster happened with a lot of people. And I have texts from other people who were there discussing it with me. Like, it's a wrap. That's a wrap. So that's the biggest problem, is that's for them, I think, that's the biggest problem. As far as like proving the rest, like the rest is sort of like, I mean, it's irrefutable that the screening took place.
We have deposition.
Like there's nothing to prove there. It's concrete.
We
it's
have
in
deposition
stone.
Transcripts of them talking about several of the events in your
book. We
have
everybody who was at that screening with the exception of Leo and Toby, who weren't yet asked about it. Oh no, sorry. Toby was asked about not being there. He knew about it.
Yeah.
So Toby Maguire even testifies to the screening that had happened. And not only does Toby Maguire testify that the screening happened at the MGM, on the MGM lot, but that he spoke to Leo about it and that Leo liked the movie.
Mm-hmm. He does. He does say this. Yeah.
This is what Toby says.
I know.
This is what Toby says.
So their story is just fucking bullshit.
It's fucking garbage.
I know.
The screening at MGM happened. Leo talked about it. Toby talked about it. We talked about it. Everybody talked about it. It's irrefutable. It's not, there's no contention. Nobody has said it didn't happen.
Yeah.
There's no denial of it. And the CAA screening happened. And with that screening, there was so many witnesses. There was like 4 or 5 agents. There were like 4 or 5 agents in the room. And then there was all of us. Me, RD, Metters, Stutman. I think Schindler maybe.
Hinata said, it looks like all of this could have been avoided if they had just said, listen, the film product can harm our careers down the road. Let's do something else to compensate and not release this. But it looks like they chose to use force and power instead. And Deanne said it's about control. Leo got butthurt believing that Dale said some things.
That's right. That's all it was. It was about control, and it was about inflicting pain on what he believed to be a threat.
Mescalero said
they weren't afraid of the film. They were 100% behind the film. Like Leo was.
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough. He loved the movie. He was proud of the movie. He was proud of us and the work that we did with the movie.
No, it's just personal beef.
It's all personal.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the film.
He literally sent this to his agents. I can't tell you what that means. When an actor, if you hand an actor who's famous in Hollywood, anything, a script, a pitch, a fucking short film you made, anything, and they say, take that shit to my agents, it's a major deal in that moment. In that moment, it's a big fucking deal.
And it turned out to be too, because they started repping the film
immediately.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even think about it. They literally watched the movie. At the end of the movie said, we want to rep you. We want to rep the movie in the room, bro. They didn't wait till we left the room. We'll call you. They were like, Bess Swafford, who is now one of the most powerful agents at CAA, who was then a huge lit agent and was in there to potentially rep me and or Artie Robb for writing, was over the fucking moon for that movie. Like she tripped about it. She
Get
was
her
like,
on the phone.
Swafford? Get me Swafford. Get me Bess Swafford. It's her old friend Dale Wheatley. Doesn't remember.
Mescalero said Dale living by his T-shirt. Radio Raheem would be proud.
Ah, do the right
That's
thing,
a great
baby.
fucking
Come on.
movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. If you haven't seen Do the Right Thing, it's 4.5 tiny pineapples.
4.5. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, Linklater. Linklater.
Linklater.
Yeah, somebody just said love Linklater. I love Linklater. What? Oh, Dazed and Confused we're talking?
Cosmic Urgency said my first Robert Altman film was Popeye as a kid. That one was so fucking excellent.
Yeah, you know, I mean that's not the Altman I'm talking about. The Altman I'm talking about is Shortcuts Altman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, Prairie, whatever that Prairie Home Companion. I love that movie. I can go over his whole discography one day. We should. But he was a major inspiration to me, and he also worked experimentally. He was really the closest thing in Hollywood. And I didn't even know this at the time. He was somebody who I kind of discovered after Don's Plum because this is true. I had never seen good art. And I didn't know Robert Altman's work like that, you know, like who Robert Altman was.
So they weren't inspirations?
They were not inspirations. The inspiration was Mike Lee.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the inspiration, 100%. And really was, I mean, there were two movies that were really like, that had, you know, affected me deeply. Life is Sweet and Naked, but it was Naked primarily that was my major inspiration. And then the other inspiration was Diner, if you haven't seen it, but that was an inspiration for both of us. Artie and I talked about it
and also
immensely. And My Dinner with Andre.
Yeah.
My Dinner with Andre was my personal inspiration because as a very young man, I saw that movie. Whenever it came out, and then it went on to our pay TV service up there, our subscription service, whatever it was, premium TV. So it wasn't long after it was released that I did see it, and I was a very young dude, you know. So I was into like whatever, you know, I was into whatever's cool, you know what I'm saying, and not so deep, you know. And this fucking movie, A Conversation Between Two Men Over Dinner, grabbed a hold of me and did not let me fucking go.
I love those channels, man. It's so sad that everybody's on the internet now and they don't have the opportunity anymore to just discover what's being aired on like classic movie channels. But I used to work a graveyard shift at a diner, which is one of the reasons why I think Don's Plum is such a neat movie, is because I was basically Flo. You know?
Yeah.
I used to work a graveyard shift at a 24-hour diner in our town, and I would get off work and I would just like turn on the TV and just like elevate my feet because they hurt so much and just watch whatever was on. And I discovered like really, really amazing movies, like foreign films I'd never seen before, black and white movies I'd never seen before, you know? And I just feel like if you don't get the opportunity to do that, I mean, now you have the advantage of everybody on the internet recommending this and that, so you can go discover things differently. But it was kind of cool to just be exposed late night, early morning to whatever the fuck was on, you know?
Yeah. Cosmic Urgency is like, are you sure Popeye was excellent? Everyone says it was bad. I don't remember it, so I can't say.
I thought it was excellent.
I remember it.
I thought it was excellent.
I remember it being bad.
You remember it being bad?
Yeah.
Well, I remember specifically thinking it was excellent because I thought that it conveyed the strangeness and the comic book esque-ness of the source material. I thought that if you're going to make a movie like the Popeye comics, which make no fucking sense and they're frenetic and weird, then that would be the perfect movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting.
I thought he captured it really well.
Robin Williams was, I mean, amazing, really. And Shelley Duvall was the perfect olive oil. There was literally nobody else who could have played her. So it was all perfectly cast. But I don't think that Altman did a really great job. And it's interesting because like when it comes to Altman or just generally speaking, the rest of the filmmakers, what's interesting about that is that I didn't feel like Altman was doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't his thing. You know, he's not, you know, like a big blockbuster guy. You know, now you got me. Now I got.
But you know, like the Popeye cartoons, they were all really thin on story. They didn't really do much. It's not like there was like a moral to the story that you could like carry with you after.
Gosford Park. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh fuck! You got to go down we got to do the Altman thing, man. See some other Altman.
Did you see
Shortcuts? The Player. You saw The Player. I just played you.
Yeah, we watched that recently. You didn't see Slow Car in the chat. You were talking about Godard, but there's apparently Richard Linklater movie about Godard making Breathless, and Slow Car says a bunch of parallels with you guys making Don's Plum.
Really? I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty neat. That's so cool. That movie. Did you ever see Breathless? Godard. If you haven't seen that, Angela, we definitely got to watch that soon because that one's like just a breathtaking.
Let's just do like a.
Nashville, loved Nashville.
I'm a big fan of like
The Long Goodbye. Oh my God.
watching an entire director's work from like beginning all the way through. You know, I like to do like studies like that. So anytime you want.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll rip this guy. We'll rip into this guy. You know, I told you like Magnolia, right? Like to me, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's making Shortcuts.
Oh, cool.
Shortcuts is by Altman, and Shortcuts was released in 1993.
I'm so interested in those stories that have like intersecting storylines because I wanted to write one of those, and it seems like a fucking impossible thing to do.
This fucking movie, dude, is so fucking divine. And check out the cast: Andy McDowell, Bruce Davidson, Jack Lemmon, Zane Cassidy, Julianne Moore, Matthew Modine,
Amazing.
Ann Archer, Fred Ward, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Chris Penn, Joseph Hopkins, blah blah blah, Lily Taylor, Robert Downey Jr., Madeline Stowe, Tim Robbins, Lily Tomlin, Tom Waits, Frances McDormand, Peter Gallagher. I mean, it's just a never-ending. Lyle Lovett, Buck Henry, Huey Lewis, Laurie Singer. It's just
like
insanity.
you're naming the seating chart for like the third row of the Oscars that year.
Right?
You know,
It's just how important of a filmmaker he was that he could demand this kind of a cast. It's funny because like part of the heartbreak that I went through was that I thought that was the kind of filmmaker, if I was going to succeed, and Don's Plum was my launching pad, and everything pointed to yes, at least in the short term, that if I was successful long term, in other words, I would be able to put out a series of films that really established who I was as a filmmaker, where my voice was truly coming from, that I would be the kind of filmmaker that I could pick up a phone and call any of the major actors in the world and say, let's do this. And they'd be like, yeah, let's talk. You know, not necessarily just sign up, but let's talk.
No, but like how Woody Allen has that.
Like I thought that was the kind of filmmaker that we were going to be, because part of what we were going to do was, and a part of our inspiration from Michael Lee was to embolden the actor and facilitate the actor's dreams. You know, like what's your dream role? How do you want to play it? Who do you want to play it against? You know, just really getting in deep. So.
I thought this was
Layla liked Don's Plum. That's awesome. I'm so glad you did.
Stacy said this interesting thing about the conflict after Don's Plum.
Yeah.
And why blackball Dale from Hollywood completely if Leo and Toby were in the right and technically won.
Yeah.
Leo had Dale banished to shut him up. Innocent people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's interesting. And the other part is like, why punish everybody for my mistake? This is the big one. This is the biggest one, is like, why would you apply this sort of like, what do they call it? Social justice? What's it called? Not social justice. It's called social punishment? No.
Collective punishment.
Collective punishment. Sorry. You know, why collective punishment? Like, why would you apply collective punishment in this situation? Why would you punish Scott Bloom? Why would you punish, Kevin Connolly or Jenny Lewis or Amber
Cosmic
Benson?
Urgency wants to know, why don't you move to Canada and make movies there?
Yeah, it's because it's the problem I have is distribution. Like I can make a movie, if I can make a movie for $50,000 right now. If somebody, I could round up $50,000. I've got investors who could come up with $50,000 tomorrow and make a movie. Nice little gritty independent film, fucking battle it out, fucking iPhones and fucking, little GH5s and shit. Sure. I could just, I could find a bunch of dedicated, committed, talent, to really work through and get the performances right and do all that. But I can't get a distributor.
Because everybody knows that you're DiCaprio's enemy.
Yeah, because distributing my movie is not going to happen, not easily. And also I can't get press. I can't get recognition. I can't get agents. I can't get agents to work with me. Like there's just so like I can't, so the Hollywood side of it, which is the control side of it, is gone. It's out of my reach. Like I'll give you a good example, right? So I get this very respected documentary filmmaker out of the UK approaches me and wants to do a documentary on me and on Don's Plum, right? And he's got this great take and I love it. And this guy, I watch his movies that are on Netflix now and they're fucking badass. And I'm like, whoa, dude, great director, right? This guy's got fucking talent. He's also a painter. My God, this guy can paint. I mean, this guy's like just a fucking super talent. You know what I mean? And he wants to do this story. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm in the middle of writing the book when he approaches, right? So then he pitches it to Netflix, not telling me. Of course, Netflix just had Don't Look Up.
Yeah, right.
Which was their number one movie like the year before.
Netflix has a deal with DiCaprio's
well,
studio.
he's got to deal with everybody, right?
Yeah.
So they pitch Netflix, which is where the director had a deal, which I didn't know he had a deal there, but whatever. I guess I should have just guessed that since he had a couple movies up already. But I didn't know if he was independent, whatever, doesn't matter. They pitch Netflix, and Netflix says, passes, and the reason they pass is they say it's too inside. They published Charlie Sheen. They published a Soleil Moon Frye documentary on the 90s, Hollywood.
Oh, well, that's why. Because that was...
No, it's too inside, they said.
DiCaprio was involved in that documentary, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yes, he was. That's right.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your fucking answer right
there.
there.
No, it was Blacklist.
So anybody who works with him or wants to work with, even if they have aspirations to work with him, they're not going to work with you because they don't want to fuck that relationship up, right? Bummer. What are you doing?
Nothing.
That's not true.
Yes, it's true.
You're looking at porn, weren't you?
Yes. Well, speaking of, there's a crazy story that broke this weekend.
Speaking of porn?
There's an ex-reality TV star. He had 2 episodes of a show on A&E where he and his wife and another couple had their swinger life on display. And apparently the audience...
Is that what the reality show was about?
It was about them like being swingers.
Me and my swinging lifestyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it went for 2 episodes before the network was, bombarded with complaints about the tastelessness of it all.
Okay.
So they canceled the show, and then I don't know what happened to him because they don't talk about it in the article, but he was recently arrested, and he was arrested and jailed and let out on $250,000 bail because he
Public
sexually
indecency.
assaulted 2 dogs and
God.
and a child.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
And apparently a child, or like exposure to a child, or some kind of weird. There's child crime in there too.
God.
I'm not specific. I didn't read. I didn't see specifically what happened to the child. Probably because they don't.
Holy fuck,
dude.
Wait, so he's out?
Yeah, and he apparently had sex with 2 dogs that he owned, and that he's out on bail with instructions to stay away from the dogs.
So he has to stay away from his own dogs?
Yeah. Which reminds me of another story
His victims?
many, many years ago that I couldn't fucking believe. I just couldn't believe it. But a guy was arrested for having sex with his dog. He was having sex with his dog in the woods, and somebody saw him. And so they called the police and they were like, this dog.
What the fuck is wrong with
people?
So
when he got arrested, so they quoted the cops. When he got arrested, the guy said, "What the fuck is the problem? It's my dog."
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was the response.
The cops are like, well, we hadn't thought about that.
That explains everything.
Explains everything.
That explains everything. It's not going to float.
Oh my God.
But it explains everything. My dog.
Who raises these people is what I want to know.
My dog.
Who is responsible for them being so dysfunctional and distorted and perverse? It's fucking
his name is
weird.
We owe the world his name. His name is Tony McAllister. He was arrested on child and animal abuse charges. And he's been ordered to stay away from the 2 dogs he allegedly abused in Ohio, and specifically not to have sex with the animals.
I'm astonished that he is apparently a threat to children and he's out on bail. Like, usually you would keep somebody like that locked up.
Fucking weird ass Christmas shit, It's like, it's horrible. It's awful to think that that he's torturing animals like that is just unbelievable. But man, I just, nothing more to say except,
I don't know why you brought it up.
What a fucking weird, because it's just too fucking bizarre. That's why.
So now his face and his charges
exactly.
are all over the internet.
Literally, like I'm looking at his face right now. Weirdest thing, he's a handsome dude. Like, not that you have to be like unhandsome or anything to be like, but he's just like,
well, there's
it's
obviously
just such a deranged brain.
There's something fucking wrong with him.
Like, this guy should have a healthy life, is what I'm saying.
Right.
He does not.
Yeah, it's just so weird how people are like, okay, what I'm doing is taboo. I should keep it a secret, is what they think. Instead of what I'm doing is taboo, I should not do it at all.
Bottom line is, if you're ever dating somebody and you sleep with them and they say bark for me, warning sign.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That is a 2 thumbs down.
2 enthusiastic thumbs down. I deserve it. I had a worse one lined up. Trust me. I wrote the joke and I was like, I'm not going to say it.
Spare me.
So we've been following.
It's fine that we're talking about it this week, though, because this
Yeah.
week doesn't exist.
Yes, this is a week that doesn't exist.
Yeah, so nobody will ever hear it, ever. Not in 2026. It'll all be forgotten. What happened?
Cosmic Energy said, "I'm not astonished that someone who is a threat to children is out on bail." It's just bizarre to me. It's just bizarre to me. This guy like abused children, abused animals, and I mean, both of them are just such despicable, deplorable acts.
Here's the thing, though. It's
but
like,
obviously with dogs or whatever.
Here's what's so weird about that is he's obviously unpredictable and obviously
out of control,
fucked in the head.
He's out of control.
So he shouldn't be released to in the public because you don't know what he's going to do. You know, this guy's obviously not acting right. So maybe you should protect everybody from him.
Yeah.
You know, it's very irresponsible.
Yep, it sure is. That kid David that uses his password for his name.
There's a 4 in it, right?
D4VD.
Okay.
Likely to be arrested in the Celeste Rivas murder. Oh, I misspelled her name. Yeah, likely to be arrested, which we've been following this case. Not shocking. They found her dismembered body
What's shocking is
in
that
his car.
It's taken them this long.
I think it was a Tesla, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a Tesla that was abandoned up in the hills, where this car was eventually picked up and towed away, impounded.
And then they noticed a smell.
And then they noticed a terrible smell, and in it was a dismembered body that had been decomposing for quite some time. That body, of course, was this very cute young girl who I believe was pregnant, but I'm not sure. But I believe there was a pregnancy involved in this. So, or that they had to get her an abortion or whatever. But he was engaged with this girl. I don't know how, to what extent, but since she was like 13. And her death came just as she turned 15, and she was estranged from her family and running away and that sort of thing. Anyway, it's a really fucking sad story that's been unfolding for quite some time.
So this whole
when
time
they found this fucking body in the car, this dude was out touring.
Yeah. So this whole time they've just been like chipping away at his alibi, I guess.
Yeah.
So now they're presenting the case to a grand jury.
Well, the strange thing about it was that it's an investigative. I never heard of this before, but it was an investigative grand jury. Have you heard of this? It's a grand jury convened to assist in law enforcement in the gathering of and pinpointing of evidence. And they're not typically assembled for purposes of indictments, but rather to just assist in the deciphering of the evidence and the display of the evidence.
This is so interesting.
Isn't that wild?
So it's kind of like a focus group, right? Where like you present your case and you're like, so what questions do you have?
Yeah.
Who do you think is responsible for this? Where should we look for, like, where would you want us to, Yeah. Like what information are we missing we can provide for you to get you a clearer picture? That's so interesting.
So this investigative jury, grand jury, however, did or was given the instruction that if they found enough evidence to lean in one direction or another, that they could recommend charges. And now, according to TMZ, the grand jury is going to be asked to charge David with being involved with the death of Celeste Rivas, which would, I hope, look, if it's true and he's guilty, I'm pretty damn excited for his family.
What happens if the grand jury says that they choose not to indict?
Well, then David walks, right? He doesn't get indicted.
Well, no, then I think the prosecutor just knows that he has more work to do.
Sure. It doesn't say he's not going to get indicted at a later date, but he's just not going to get indicted now. You know what I mean? David.
I don't know enough about grand juries to understand what their role is. It's not like they determine whether the prosecutor does anything. They don't do the DA's work for them. So they could say we choose not to indict, and then the DA could still move forward, right?
Yes.
Slow Car said in the chat, said someone I know was watching Kid 90 at a party a while back.
Oh.
That's the documentary, the Soleil to Moon Fry documentary.
Yeah.
And I ended up telling them your story and they were blown away.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I knew Soleil real well. Like we were friends, I'd say we were close friends, but we were good friends.
You were saying that, like, wasn't her brother making like little videos of everybody?
Well, what I found out was that she was recording us all unbeknownst to anyone. So she was apparently, her and Milo, her brother, they were coming to these parties or wherever we were, and they would record our conversations,
I
and then
wonder if
they were going and transcribing those conversations and then dialoguing them into a script that they
You're like,
later
"You can't do that."
shot. Yeah, they actually shot their movie. You know, sometime around when we shot ours, maybe a little before. It was before because I remember people like maybe it was after. Doesn't really matter. I think it was actually just after.
Wait, did you guys all have a problem with that being secretly recorded and then being transcribed for dialogue? And
Well, I didn't care personally because whatever. It didn't bother me, but I'm sure some people did. I remember people being, "What the fuck? That's fucked up," and other people were like, worried, like thinking about it from a copyright perspective, which I was like, well, there's no, I don't think there's copyright conversations, but that's weird. But anyway,
it's a really strange thing to do, to like mine your friends for their exact words, to record them secretly. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to do that.
I've never watched Kid A, and the reason I never watched Kid A is because
it's Kid 90
or Kid 90. I'm sorry, Kid A. I love. I never watched Kid 90, and part of the reason is because I know it's full of shit. And the reason I know it's full of shit is because I know that she's talking about Sean Karasena and his unaliving, and I was like, I knew Sean, and it was like a really fucked up thing, in my opinion, to be like, I don't know why. It just felt like a weird thing to do for me.
Like exploitative?
Yeah, like what no one cares. No one cares outside of our group about Sean Karasena's unaliving. And there was no way that story was going to be integrated in some kind of meaningful way into our group of friends at the time. There's just no way. Mm. Like, I mean, I knew Sean well. I knew that whole group, extremely well. When Sean died, the only reason that I didn't go to his memorial in New York is because I knew those guys would be there. So I wasn't going to fucking subject anyone to that discomfort on, the day. And the whole idea of mourning is to go mourn with friends. And I'd been blacklisted from all of them.
Yeah.
Including Soleil. So I didn't write it. And the reason why Soleil does not appear in my book, although she could have been in it through all the way through it, is because she chose to delete Artie Robb, to delete me, to delete Don's Plum, which was at the core of that moment. Like, Don's Plum was such a big fucking deal to everybody involved. Like, it was a massive fucking deal. Like, while it was going on, there was all this.
Yeah, you guys were all making a movie together. That's a huge
there was tension between the other friends who didn't get into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, Jay Ferguson was pissed. Johnny Whitworth was pissed. Like, so many other people were pissed that they didn't get to be in the movie. And we kept having to like, oh, we'll fucking put you in the next one. We'll put you in the next one. I'm sorry. There's only so many fucking roles, bro. What do you want me to do? And all this other shit. And we're arguing with people all the time.
I like those scenes in the book.
Yeah. So like, it was Don's Plum was a big fucking deal. To omit it is at the behest of Leonardo DiCaprio and not paying attention to like what was true and real at the time. So I was like, look, if you're going to omit a massive centerpiece, if you're going to take out Artie Robb, like, you could take me out because I was a 2-year-old friend, even though I was fucking close as fuck to all of them. And to take me out is egregious in my opinion. It's not nearly as egregious as taking Artie Robb out of the story. Artie Robb was friends with them for 6 years, some of them 10 years, 12 years. He knew Soleil since they were kids, since they were little fucking kids. Artie Robb knew Soleil. And Soleil kept him out of that story. So like, to me, it was like, okay, well, message heard, I'm not going to include you in my story either. Not that she would fucking care, because it's not like my story A is, really getting around all that much anyway. And even if it is, it's a dubious story at best, right? So there's that. But yeah, that's interesting. That's crazy that happened. To be a fly on the wall to see your friend's reaction when you told him the story is pretty wild.
I have a story I wanted to tell you about tonight.
Oh, let's hear it.
But it's completely different. It's totally off topic of everything we've been talking about.
Do you want me to finish with my celebrity headlines then?
Oh yeah, sure.
Do you know who Mickey Lee is?
Never heard of Mickey Lee.
She was in Big Brother.
Okay.
She's a reality TV personality, and she's no longer here. She died at 35 years old. She died from infections due to pneumonia.
Oh.
Very sad.
That is sad.
Yeah. Very young, very beautiful woman, Atlanta-based person, I believe. And anyway, but what's so crazy is that when she was on Big Brother, one of the other residents on the show was a palm reader, like a novice palm reader. And she read her hand and she was like, "This is your lifeline. Oh, this says you're going to die young."
Oh.
So there's a clip of it. They're talking. There's a clip of it on TMZ where they're all talking and they're laughing about it because it's like, that's crazy. And she's like, maybe that's not your lifeline. She's dead. So anyway.
Do you believe in palmistry?
I don't know. I can't say that I do. No, but then I can't say that, but nothing's beyond my scope of, nothing's beyond possible, just unlikely.
It's one of those things that like, I always, I have a bunch of superstitions that I'm just entertained by. I don't know whether I actually believe in them, but I just think that it's more interesting to believe some things than to not believe them, you know? Like being a skeptic is like kind of not very fun sometimes. So like palmistry is one of those where I'm like, I want it to be true because it's more entertaining that way.
My lines are long all over. So my guess is like if there's a lifeline that if it's a prominent line, then it looks like I have a long lifeline. Hooray!
You get to witness the collapse of civilization.
Let's see if I can find it here. What is the lifeline on your palm? Lifeline on hand. Let's see what it says here. Let's go. Images. Let's see where it is. Oh God, this might be complicated. I might not be able to do it just in a split second here. Let's see. $4.95. I just want to know where the lifeline. There it is. There it is. The lifeline. Oh, that's the lifeline. Is it? Wait, are we sure?
It's this one. It's this one that goes down.
Yeah.
Around your thumb.
I don't even have one. I'm already dead. Oh God, that reminds me of Jacob's Ladder. My favorite horror film, I'm sure, is Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Jacob's Ladder, you should watch it. If
it's
you
in my
haven't seen it,
top 5 of films I consider to be masterpieces.
It's a masterpiece. Yeah. It's a fucking masterpiece. Tim Robbins, absolute fucking brilliant. Wow, I don't have a lifeline, guys. What am I gonna do?
You do.
I don't.
You're just not looking in the right spot.
It's tiny then, like tiny. Like unless that's it. If that's it, it's very long. Oh, that might be it. Oh, then it's long, dude. I'm talking like, hello, I'm from the 1980s. No. 1970s. When,
do that thing
Richard Nixon was there.
Do that thing with the bottom lip.
There's a guy. Anyway, I do have a long lifeline. If that's the lifeline, it's very pronounced too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going on forever here, bro. These headaches aren't going to stop me. Tell you that right now. Anyway, isn't that crazy? It's crazy because this girl is dead. And then there's a video of literally somebody saying that they read their lifeline and said, your lifeline is short.
Oh, you were mentioning Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder is the best horror film ever. And it just reminded me, I just said a line from it because he's like on these stairs at a party. It was one of my favorite lines in the movie. He's on these stairs in the party.
There's a palm reader
and there's a palm reader at the party and they're on these stairs or whatever. And she's kind of flirty and he's kind of flirty. And it's just a great moment. Acting just so superb. And then she's like, he finds out she's a palm reader and she goes, come on, honey, let me read your palm. And it's all like flirty and she's like, cause he's all cute and stuff. So she takes his palms, fucking perfect chemistry going between them. And she's like, oh. This is your lifeline. He's like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, problem is, it says you're already dead. And I just fucking for whatever reason, there's no reason, it's not a spoiler. There's no reason. It just fucking, that line just stayed with me because it was like his reaction. Cause he's like, he's there obviously. And she's quite serious.
It's such good filmmaking, I think.
It's brilliant.
Cosmic Urgency said, I did not like Jacob's Ladder. Well, Cosmic Urgency is wrong. I'm kidding.
That is like to me impossible. I just don't even understand how that's possible. Like I think like if just the wait a minute, Mr. Postman moment should make you love the movie. Like just that moment alone. It just makes that movie entirely endearing.
Adrian Lyne is just really, really skilled at turns, right? So like he'll have a scene that's going in one direction and you're following him, and then all of a sudden he'll be like just a sharp turn. And it's not jarring. It's shocking each time, but it's like he does it in a way where, I don't know, he really exploits the emotions of it. He builds tension effortlessly too. And then like it's such a masterstroke to cast what is that actor who plays Michael? Oh,
Danny Aiello.
Danny Aiello as like an angel figure.
One of his best performances in his career and an esteemed career. I mean, Danny Aiello, Do the Right Thing, brilliant, right? Like just fucking one of my favorite actors. His death hit me like a truck, man.
I'm always delighted by casting choices that are kind of like against the type. Like one of the reasons why I liked Constantine so much is because they cast angels and devils that look differently than you would think. I just thought they were fucking exceptional casting. Anywho, what's next?
I have so much, but we haven't done our reviews. We have 2 reviews.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I don't even want to talk about them.
We got to do them.
No, we don't.
It's Monday.
We don't have to do them.
Angela. I want to.
What 2 reviews? We saw I Love You Man, which is like, who cares?
What do you mean? It's a movie.
I know.
What do you mean? It's
But you've seen it before. I hadn't seen
3
it.
times.
And it's just a comedy. Like, nobody cares.
We can review it. It's
Okay.
what we do.
Okay.
And then Pluribus. We completed the first season of Pluribus.
Oh, the first season
And
of Pluribus.
I have some shit to say about that.
Okay.
Shit, man. Breaking the show.
forgot
Remember I
about
told you about the Kennedy Center, which is what it's really called, that when Fuckface tried to rename it and put his own name on it.
Mhm.
What a broken human being. Can you imagine? It's the
No.
Dale Wheatley house.
I can't imagine. It would be embarrassing to try to do that.
Welcome to the Dale Wheatley house.
In any context, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's humiliating.
It is.
He is the most shameless pile of fucking shit of humanity I've ever fucking witnessed in my life. Anyway, the Kennedy Center, I told you that there was a guy who was, one of the most esteemed jazz artists in living American jazz artists, who put on an annual jazz show at the Kennedy Center. And then he pulled out the minute that the name was changed. Trump is trying to sue him for $1 million now.
Oh, come on. He's such a fucking pathetic snowflake.
And apparently something he said was, my agreement was to perform at the Kennedy Center, not
Nice.
the Donald Trump and
That's right.
John F. Kennedy
He's like,
Center.
I don't even know if I can find the right building. It
He's
doesn't
like,
even
he doesn't
exist
give
anymore.
a fuck about his $1 million lawsuit. He's like,
Yeah.
stick it up your
Yeah.
ass, Mr. President. I'm not fucking being a part of it. So really proud of that guy. What a great American. Those are the kinds of heroes that we need today. People who will stand up to those kinds of bullies. Fucking amazing. I saw one of the most dystopian headlines I've ever seen in my life. It said, a child is born. An Italian village celebrates its first baby in 30 years.
What?
And well, obviously it's in our uplifting news, and it's the small community, and people move away and whatever. And somebody stayed long enough to actually breed and have kids there again. And
Breed?
And yeah. And,
yeah, it could be that the village is like really inhospitable to raising a small family. You know what I
just
mean?
the kind of headline, right? Like in a dystopian society where, babies aren't being born.
That's a premise,
It's like a
that's like a trope.
First of all, that child is going to be fucking exalted,
Mhm.
or miserable. It's going to be like,
no other kids to play with. That's for sure.
we got a new billionaire.
Oh,
You ready to
did
celebrate?
we?
Yeah, we got a new billionaire.
I don't know that we got a new billionaire.
did, yeah, we
I'm
did.
pretty sure that billionaires got a new billionaire, but I don't know that
we are collecting
got
billionaires.
anything.
We are collecting billionaires, and we got a brand new one. This one goes by the name of Beyonce. She is Beyonce, the billionaire.
Wow.
The newest billionaire announced, 5th musician to ever reach
Here's
the
what I don't-
milestone. They call it a milestone. Why aren't they calling it what it is? The 5th fucking musician to reach this embarrassing state of financial
Yeah,
being.
Right, exactly.
The 5th musician to hoard enough cash to become a billionaire.
Yeah, she's become a monstrosity. So here we
It's
go.
a monstrosity, yeah.
She's reached monstrosity status.
But look, I'm not going to blame her. She might be doing what Taylor Swift did, for example, bought her catalog back, $330 million, gave $250 million or $190 million or whatever it was to her staff of the Eras tour. Maybe she does things like that, and maybe she's spreading it around nice. So I'm not going to be mean to her. But man, when I see a billionaire, a new billionaire, I just can't believe they call it a milestone. I just find that whole thing disturbing. And my last thing for today is just all the Chevy Chase shit that's hitting there's like, he's got some documentary coming out on CNN, which is the weirdest distribution ever. They got some.
I know.
You got it's paywalled. You got to have cable.
Well, it's a real bummer because apparently the director did a really good job getting him to be forthright because apparently he's got a reputation for being a real asshole to people and not wanting to participate in shit. And so this director succeeded, but now it's like it's fucking paywalled on CNN. Nobody's gonna see her work. It's fucking weird. It's a super strange way to stream documentary or anything.
Apparently he said in an argument with the director, I'm Chevy Chase and you're not. That was one of his responses. I mean, that's pretty solid thing to say. I mean, as much as it's absolutely fucking distorted and demented to hold
It gets
yourself in
better
such.
than this. Did you read it?
No.
No, it's better than this. Okay, so the director was like, okay, so I have my task before me is that I have to talk to this man who has a reputation for being a real asshole. But if I come right out and say, hey, you have a reputation for being a real asshole, do you want to talk about it? He's certainly going to be defensive about that. And I'm not going to get the interview that I want. But what happened was that she showed up and then Chevy Chase right out the gate was a real asshole to her. And she's like, oh, great. This is so awesome. I don't have to bring it up. Now he has brought it up by being an asshole to me. Now I can just remark on what he's just done instead of saying, people call you a real asshole. She could be like, hey, you were a real asshole right then. You want to talk about why you're like,
yeah, it was like it gave her the in.
Gave her the in, yeah.
Yeah, because it says that she's like, I'd never done an interview where someone was so rude to me, but I was so worried going in to that first interview with him about how I was going to say to him, like, hey, everyone thinks you're an asshole. I thought if I did, he would just throw me out of his house. So the minute that he said it to me, I was like, okay, I have a way in now.
Yeah, you said it better. She said it better. I should have just had you read it instead of trying to explain.
Yeah, I had the article up, but I was happy to hear your version of it instead. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff. Like there's another thing where he had a full meltdown. So I knew, and this, by the way, wasn't my Chevy Chase source at all, but we had a client at Station 3, Danny Pudi, who was on Community, right? I met Danny a bunch of times, and there was a lot of talk around about Chevy Chase. And so I do remember some of the stuff. And I don't remember if this was the incident or not specifically, but I do remember there was a big deal going on, a big meltdown with Chevy Chase. And it was that he had dropped the N-word.
He keeps saying Chevy. And I think that's really funny.
Chevy.
Yeah.
I hate his name. I always have.
Yeah, me too.
Because it is Chevy. That's a Chevy. Right? His name is Cornelius. So Cornelius Chase, he had a full meltdown on Community and he dropped the N-word. And he didn't want it to get out. He said, my career will be ruined. Like, that's
what happened to him?
It's so fucked up. When you think about it, like, when you think about that as the perspective, like the motivation, like ruining your own career. Like, you're just not thinking, you're dropping fucking N-words. A white dude dropping N-words at the workplace, no less.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Real John Wayne, this guy.
Maybe there's something wrong with him. Maybe he's got something wrong with his brain.
I actually do have two more things.
Wait, Kind Lady DiCaprio said, Chevy Chase of the Three Amigos?
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
He was an amigo.
Oh, no. Slow Car said he called Donald Glover the word, I believe. Can you imagine? Oh, my God. I would never keep that a secret. If I had witnessed something like that, I would tell the whole world. Because you have to be shamed for doing something.
Can you imagine calling your coworker?
No way. I don't.
How he didn't sue him is amazing.
Cosmic Urgency said, what are the 2026 psychic or astrology or whatever predictions?
I can give you a couple. Like I can give you this one, which is that in the first quarter, toward the end of the first quarter, into the sort of into the second quarter, major changes of power, political or otherwise, and we're talking globally, we're not talking about necessarily your dynamic, although you can also experience it on that level for sure. But we could see major shifts in power. There's a lot of martial energy this year. There's going to be a Mars Uranus conjunction in Gemini, and not every time that there has been a Mars conjunction in Gemini, which happens, by the way, very infrequently. Like it takes hundreds of years before you'll see another.
Okay,
one.
so Uranus makes a 80-year cycle. Okay,
yes.
So Uranus is in Gemini every 80 years for about 8 years, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
and then every 2 years, Mars goes around the zodiac.
And while Mars is in Gemini, it'll conjoin with
4 times that Mars conjoins, like every 2 years for that 8 years span,
3 or 4 times.
There is a Mars conjunction with Uranus. Yeah. So not every single time does something horrible and heinous happen, but not the last time. One of the times that Mars conjoined Uranus in Gemini was the Hiroshima bomb.
Yeah, that's the Civil War. There's a bunch. Like, in fact, it's the history of
It's basically like,
Mars in Uranus, which I believe Mars was in Uranus at the Declaration of Independence. Sorry, Uranus was in Gemini
yeah,
at the Declaration of Independence.
right.
And then every time that Mars has gone around, at some point in that 8-year cycle that it's in Gemini, there has been a war,
So
significant war,
it's usually just like
like Hiroshima, Hiroshima.
I mean, that's just like that was like a singular event. So the astrologers are like, just noting that did happen, but we're not saying.
And I think that comes.
They're not saying that it's gonna happen.
But
they're just saying like the key word for Mars conjoining Uranus in Gemini is explosive. You know, like explosive can mean in like incendiary speech, right? It could be like something small, like you get into a fight. You get into a fight
not on a mundane level.
Yes, it doesn't mean like literal explosions,
Well,
but it
on
could
a
just
mundane
mean
level,
like,
it's more likely to manifest itself in that way. It doesn't mean the whole world is going to go up in smoke on those days or in those periods, but look for it. It's probably going to be happening. So, or existing conflicts might get, new attacks or new allies. There's just a bunch of ways in which it can manifest for sure. But I would expect to see on a mundane level martial energy in play. So I wouldn't know that. Obviously it's in Gemini, so yeah, maybe there's some speech. But
can I talk about Uranus and Gemini for just a second?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just interesting to think about like the significations symbolically of the planet Uranus and what we've assigned to it in terms of meaning. It's basically like the Promethean inspirational force, right? Like it is basically like, the story of Prometheus where he steals the fire from the gods and gives it to man.
Yeah.
So Uranus is supposed to convey some sort of like future forward thinking that people haven't quite accepted yet. It's like ahead of its time type ideas in Gemini being conveyed to the populace, but it does seem a bit of ahead of its time. So it's like very revolutionary. Everything that all of its efforts tend to be directed towards some sort of liberation. So sometimes if it's activating a very personal house in your chart, sometimes you'll feel like, oh, I'm so constrained. I got to just break out of this relationship or this job or something, or, just like show your tits, right? Is that what you did? You were doing Superman? Man. Okay. Sorry. I was just thinking about your boobs. That's all.
I don't really have any.
So Uranus is moving into Gemini in 2026. And so we're expecting that all of there were 3 different significant conflicts that the United States got involved in when Uranus was in Gemini. Like I said, it's an 80-year cycle that it returns to Gemini. And so when Uranus was in Gemini, we had the Revolutionary War in the United States and also in France. Then 80 years after that, we had the Civil War. Okay. And 80 years after that, we were involved in World War II. And every single one of those was a fight for a revolutionary war for liberation. And so I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's predicted that the US is going to be involved in some sort of war for liberation again within the next 8 years. And it's all heating up in 2026.
Yep. And the thing about, so look, Mars is trouble for the most part, and expect trouble. And when you got Mars, Uranus, and Gemini, it's a recipe for. And the problem with it is that Gemini is mutable, so it could mean multiple situations at once. So including, for example, multiple offenses. Like, it's the kind of thing where you could, for example, see a country being invaded by 2 different.
Of course, and like everything is so fraught worldwide. Like there's
or 2 different conflicts separate events. Like,
it's such a fucking powder keg right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not hard to believe that this sort of thing could happen, but it just historically has happened, and so we can expect that maybe it might. But the reason why we're talking about specifically Mars conjoining Gemini is that it is happening on the 4th of July this year. I mean, of 2026. So one thing that it definitely means is that I think we should spread the word that nobody should be messing with fireworks, because literal explosions and some sort of injury as a result of explosive devices. Like, and in 2026, put the fucking fireworks away. Don't even think about it for 4th of July. Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's that. There's also some really positive things going on in the world. Like, for example, change of leadership. Like this whole thing that, some people think it, could be very dangerous coming up into this first and into the second quarter, where there might be, significant changes in leadership around the world. That could now at the same time, there's a guy who, I don't know, you got to help me out with this guy who he is. I said he was a neurologist, but he's just a home care guy.
He's just a guy with a TikTok channel, but he's a professional healthcare practitioner who works in home healthcare and specifically specializes in caring for dementia patients. So he is talking about the president of the United States from his perspective as an expert in his field, where he's seen a bunch of these patients.
He does seem very knowledgeable. He says a lot of fucking big, long, multi-syllable words that
he's
have to do with
in
your
space
lobes. And he says Donald Trump's going to be dead within 3 to 5 months. So based on like what he's calling, what he, his visual and his, his cognition and like everything he's presenting.
There's an eclipse season in March that looks especially harrowing for Donald Trump.
For sure.
And he was born on an eclipse.
Yes.
And so throughout, I don't know if you guys remember the Butler, Pennsylvania incident, where we're all in disagreement about whether he was actually shot at or whether it was like a fake setup, but he was at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and people did die from gunfire at that place.
I know that ears don't magically repair themselves in a day.
I know, so it's weird.
That ear was not injured.
Anyway, that happened in this eclipse window. The things happened to Donald Trump throughout his entire life. He has had major beginnings or sudden endings of situations. Just very momentous things have happened during eclipse times for him because, and this is predicted by astrologers, if you're born on eclipse times, eclipses are very significant for you throughout your life. And there's another one in 2 eclipse a pair in March that are very significant in his chart specifically.
So so it's not entirely impossible that we have President J.D. Vance before summer, before that Mars Gemini situation, which is sort of another scary moment, because like if Donald Trump were to somehow have to leave office for any reason, be it medical or if he might get kicked out of office. This guy's losing his shit, bro.
Obviously,
like his Christmas messages
and he remains
were the most unhinged things ever read or ever. I mean, history will never truly be able to understand the scope of the fucking madness. Well, maybe it will. It's just overwhelming. So it's entirely possible that this guy's faculties are leaving him in a hurry, like on a fucking jet airplane, and they're going to have to remove him. He said publicly, like, he doesn't understand what he's fucking saying. So he said publicly that he's been doing a lot of cognition tests, and then he said about that, he's like, in a room full of doctors. Well, there's only one reason why there would be a room full of doctors examining a president's fucking cognition test, and it's because a lot of people need to opine on this fucking deteriorating health situation. So this guy is certainly fucking coming apart at the seams on pretty much every level. The truth about this economy is coming to bear, right? That it's an AI economy, that the bubble's about to burst. Everything is pretty much flat right now. Nothing really grew year over year since he's been president. So the tariffs aren't working. The Doge we know didn't work, so on and so forth. I mean, it's a disaster presidency, a very highly predictable disaster indeed. And so it might be that, everything comes down at the right moment and he's just removed from office. It could also be that eclipse is too much for his physical body to bear, and it might bring about his eternal sleep. So there's a bunch at stake, but I think that there is, astrologically speaking, everything is in place for him to be removed from power for some reason. Doesn't mean it'll happen. That's not how astrology works. Like we said.
However, in the summertime, Jupiter will be leaving its sign of exaltation in Cancer, where it has been for a year.
Yes.
And moving into Leo, and that is Trump's and J.D. Vance's first house.
Their first houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but his has a bunch of troubling aspects. Trump's does. I'll get it. We'll get into that. We'll actually bust out the chart. We'll get into it. Not today because I don't
I think
have a
we're
chart
overdue
ready.
for starting an astrology channel.
Well, I don't know. I don't have fucking time. You know, we got to try to get some fucking money in here and, you know, get some help.
Anyway, I wanted to bring...
Shannon loves the National Lampoon. Listen, I love the National Lampoon fucking movies as well. That's why working with Randy Quaid was like, I worked with Cousin Eddie, dude. You know how fucking cool that was for me?
So cool.
I was like, oh my God, Cousin Eddie. I
know, he's so
I'm sitting there having dinner with him. And I'm like, you know, like I've worked at this point with Leonardo DiCaprio and I've worked.
You were starstruck?
I've hung out with so many people, but just sitting at the fucking table eating, this immaculate meal with fucking Cousin Eddie.
That's really funny.
It was amazing.
I wanted to bring you a little science news.
Leo is not a Leo. Leo is a Libra rising of all things. He's a Libra rising Scorpio sun. So yeah. And the thing about Libras is that they often administer their own justice, or justice through their lens is sort of how they see the world. So it very much aligns with his behavior over Don's Plum, where he would become judge and jury and then slap the gavel. Bad gavel. What were you going to say?
I was going to tell you a story, but you're still in the chat, so I'll wait.
You were going to tell me a story?
Yes. I brought a story to share with you today.
Shannon's in Chevy Chase, DC right now.
I know, it was so weird. I lived in Maryland for just a little while. I lived in Greenbelt, Maryland for just a minute. Yeah. I don't recommend it. And there's towns that have really strange names around there. Chevy Chase is a town in Maryland, but it's like close to DC, so it's in the same. I lived in
where everyone's an asshole.
I lived in Maryland, was working in DC when the sniper things happened. We were all terrified, but luckily we were in DC and he was smart enough not to enter DC because it's like basically a militarized zone. Like Washington DC is so locked down. So he was doing all of his crimes in the Maryland side. Pretty horrific.
Well, it's easier and yeah.
Okay. Would you like to hear a story about some science news?
What we'll do is maybe we'll watch another movie. And we'll do it on Wednesday. We'll just watch a movie between now and Wednesday. And then but I want to do I Love You, Man. It's a movie.
Are we on Wednesday?
Yeah. Isn't that New Year's?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Aren't we? Are we off? Do you want to be off?
Oh, I don't care.
Do you want to put up a poll? I'll put up a poll. Should I put up a poll? Or do we just make a decision?
No, I mean, I think we can just decide.
Do we have to go? We'll call a board meeting.
What is your New Year's Eve looks like what to you? And then
looks like any other day, really. You know, I'm hanging out with the person I care most about in life. And
oh, who's that? So do you want to? We'll do it Wednesday. Yeah, sure.
I mean, might as well. Fuck.
Okay, great.
We're not gonna. I don't think we should take in the new year.
Yeah, like be here at midnight.
Yeah, no, I don't think we should do that.
No, I got shit to do.
Yeah, and it's just another disappointing moment, you know.
Yeah,
it's like sitting around. Okay, guys, here you have. Okay, that's it. Yeah. There it is. It's so weird.
I'm usually in bed before the new year happens. But we're gonna be, our house is mobbed with dogs, so I don't know that I'll be able.
You guys
to
gonna do a New Year's countdown?
No way.
10, 9, 8. What comes down? I'll surely fuck it up. I'm bad at my time. I'm working on it. I got a metronome, but I'm bad at my timing. I could even read my my New Year's Eve scene.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Kind of maybe I release that like New Year's Day on the channel. It'll surely blow up. Surely.
Okay. Well, I'll just save this story for another time.
Story.
No, you don't even want to hear it.
I want to hear it. I'm sitting patiently, perfectly erect. Oh, my back.
Your posture.
My posture.
Okay, listen.
Jesus.
Scientists are working to decode wolf howls in Yellowstone with AI technology.
Oh, fuck. See, you want to get rid of AI, but it does shit like this.
No, I know, but this is super cool because I feel like the next zeitgeist that we're all going to experience in science and science journalism is learning. Number one, they're trying to nail down what consciousness is. There's a ton of chatter about consciousness.
We had this great discussion because of the fucking brains in petri dishes.
Brains in
It's
petri
crazy.
dishes. Yes,
The stem shell.
they're
the stem cell.
creating brains in petri dishes, and they
Yeah.
don't know ethically what to do about them because they don't know if it's ethical to keep a brain that could possibly think and feel pain in a petri dish. There's ethical problems. They're also
crazy.
They're also uncovering very, very clear evidence that nonverbal autistic folks can communicate via telepathy.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So
it's a wrap. That's a done deal.
Yeah.
We witnessed it.
And now they're also trying to do so I think that it's going to be about consciousness and communication. They're starting to recognize that there's ways to communicate with animals, and that animals and plants and everything communicate with us, and that we're all connected.
This is going to make eating very difficult.
This is very, very fucking cool. Because I personally just recently,
I love it.
I had a huge breakthrough I'm a dog trainer. And when I learned to read dog body language communication and also to manipulate my own body to communicate to dogs.
The way they understand the communication. Yes.
Everything was easier.
It's
I
incredible.
swear to God, it's the fucking cheat code that people aren't unanimously talking about this and making their relationship serious. A dog will fucking bond with you so fast as soon as they realize, oh my gosh,
or bite you.
Oh, she's listening. And then like if you communicate with your body towards them, they can read you and they're like, oh yeah, great. Well, like it becomes like a symbiotic relationship that just is effortless.
We took a couple of German Shepherds out to a park.
Yes.
And we were I was running around playing with them like I like to do, where I'm throwing and playing and doing all this whole thing. It was a couple of new dogs to us. And this dog,
they were very anxious dogs.
This dog was, yeah, right. And I thought we were going to try to like get them, exercised or whatever. Well, this dog was taking offense, and I didn't notice. I was just playing with this dog, and you were like, Dale, you have to stop now. Because you saw that, and I didn't see it.
Because I can
read, dog's right in front of me.
Because I can read dog body language communication. Dogs communicate with each other through their body language, and it's very easy to read that. If once you learn what to look for, you can read exactly how a dog is fucking feeling by how they're positioning their body.
Bro, this dog almost took me out. This dog was like, she's like, Angela stops me, so I stop because she's like, no, you have to stop now. So I stop. I think the dog's just having a good time, and I was like, I thought you were wrong when you told me to stop. I was like, nah, this is fine. No way, man. This dog was ready to fucking pounce at my fucking throat.
Yeah, the dog
Then you walked me through it and you're like, this is what you got to do. And you like, I had to turn my body because I was like facing him the wrong way or whatever. You like, I can't remember exactly what you said. We're like, turn your body, blah, blah, blah. So I did, there was like 2 or 3 things you had me do.
Yeah.
And as soon as I did it, the dog fucking hackles dropped, came to my side. Next thing you know, I'm petting him on the fucking head.
So I'm telling you guys,
it was wild.
The fucking cheat code.
It was a wild moment.
What I told you to do is turn sideways to the dog.
Yeah.
That communicates passivity.
Right.
You're not trying to engage with the dog. The dog's not a threat.
And I'm serious, this
you.
dog was like baring its teeth.
Yeah.
When I stopped,
Totally.
the dog looked at me and went, and I was like, holy fuck. And then you were like,
so you got to turn sideways
aside.
to the dog. You got to put your chin up because that also is how dogs communicate, that they don't want any trouble with each other. So your chin up and you turn sideways to the dog. And then
instead
also,
of like under the brow, like ready to attack.
I mean, primates, us, right? Humans, when we feel meek, we want to curl in. And dogs do that too. When they're feeling really meek, they want to curl in. But when you're dealing with a dog who may feel like you're challenging them, what you want to do is put your chin up because that communicates that you're submissive, that you don't want any trouble. And another thing that you can do is that you lean back on your heels. Dogs are so fucking perceptive. So a dog will notice if you're leaning back on your heels, he knows that you're stationary, that you're not going to move. If you're just standing forward on your toes, like that's just how you hold your body. If you're forward on your toes, that dog knows that it's possible you'll lunge. So they're expecting movement from you. So if you just lean back on your heels, that communicates also that you're like, I don't want any trouble. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just sitting right here. Like,
I'm on my heels, buddy.
Yeah. So those are the things I told you.
Anyway, you
do.
were saying, keep going. That was really cool.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this is the next frontier in science, is that they're going to be discerning what exactly is consciousness, which is still a puzzle that nobody can figure out. They're going to start talking about how humans can do telepathy with each other and everybody else. And they also are going to try and figure out how we can communicate with animals and how animals can better communicate with us. This is the next frontier, I'm telling you, okay? This is how it starts, though. Scientists are working to decode wolf howls in Yellowstone with AI technology. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sorry. Here in Yellowstone's National Park, Lamar Valley, wolves from one of the park's 9 packs have made a kill. Oh, this is a transcript. This is from PBS. Anyway. I wanted to bring you this story, but I thought it was an article.
Cosmic Frequencies of Virgo rising.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Same here, buddy.
Him and you and Angela and Justin Baldoni.
Yeah. 3 peas in a pod.
Listen to this. He's a fucking moon Leo.
He's a Leo moon. Me too.
Can you believe that? You guys are both moon Leos.
That's why you're so fucking judgmental all the time,
You guys have
bro.
the same ascendant and the same moon. He's a sun Cap, though.
I'm a sun Capricorn, moon in Leo, and ascendant in Virgo. That's neat. Okay, well, I guess I wasn't prepared. I kind of fucked this up. This is an interview.
So what does that mean? Where does that leave us?
Okay, linguistics researcher and software engineer Dr. Jeff Reed has been experimenting with AI to study wolves near his home, just north of Yellowstone. He's lending his technical expertise to the Yellowstone Wolf Project. This is a wolf chorus howl, and we're using AI from Google to see if we can count the number of wolves in a chorus howl. So this is a group of wolves. It's like walking into a bar and all the people are talking, and you can pick out particular people in the room. Wolves can pick out other wolves that they know in this cacophony of sound.
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
That's so rad. The key to this technology is pattern.
We can pick our dog's sound over other dogs.
No, it's true. I know when my dog's barking versus another dog. The key to the technology is pattern recognition. According to Reed, these colorful patterns are what's called a spectrogram of wolf howls, representing their strength and frequency over time. Artificial intelligence, he says, can pick out the patterns and identify individual wolves much better than any human could.
I love this shit.
I know.
I love when AI say, like, I do believe that there's room for AI in the world. This is one of those situations right here. And for getting your fucking astrological ascendant apparently is very handy.
They're getting some pushback though, because apparently these audio recorders that Yellowstone is using to monitor its vast space can also pick up human conversations and activities from hundreds of yards away. So animal science and human privacy in Yellowstone could soon be on a collision course.
Oh boy. Well, you don't want that. I want to be like, you'd be like, oh, that's two people having sex. Oh my God.
But they're calling it their moonshot is bioacoustics. And they're hoping that the conflict between wolves and humans doesn't impede their progress to discern.
I love how communal howling is. Like, I told you about the time that I did Special K and at the reggae festival. And then I started howling at the full moon because it was a full moon. And I started howling at the full moon. And there was like 2,500 campers. And there was like however many hundreds of people lingering in the area that I was, which was away from the band and from the music area. And we all just started howling together. There was like literally hundreds of people just, oh, at the moon. It was fucking amazing. None of us, not one dog, not one of us. I mean, maybe personality wise, but absolutely all humans and all howling together. Pretty fucking cool.
Scientists said AI is handy to troubleshoot coding for stats and then formatting the stats results to copy paste into your manuscript. Also proofreading your manuscript.
I can't do that. That's the part I can't do with AI.
Yeah, because that means that you have to upload. Here's the thing: is you're teaching.
I'm not going to teach AI. With my
you have to upload your artwork, and then it will just ingest it and use it.
Which is why I still have typos in my book, and I'm sorry for that.
How could you have typos when you have a perfect editor?
Oh, you tell me.
Slow Car says, Sun Sagittarius, Moon Capricorn. Am I safe?
Sun Sag, Moon Cap.
Yes, you're safe.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Moon and Cap. That's interesting. That's a fallen moon right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a moon
in detriment.
In detriment, yeah. So the moon's in detriment, which is interesting. I'd have to get into some thinking about a moon in detriment in Capricorn, natally. And it depends on, were you born? What were you born when the sun was below or above the horizon, or were you born? Yeah, were you born? During nighttime or daytime?
Dawn and dusk. Yeah.
If you're born if you were born at night, the moon is going to have a more significant impact on you astrologically than the sun. If you were born in the day. So if you were born in the day, then your primary luminary will be your sun. But if you were born at night, then your primary luminary will be your moon. Slow says, That doesn't sound so good. It's okay. Like huge, massively successful people, and people who have been admired the world over have had fallen moons, or other planets or moons or planets in detriment or fallen. It's not a problem. It may explain some things that go on for you emotionally. It may explain some relationships with maternal figures in your life, or it may explain your behavior as a mother, perhaps, if you are a mother. So there's a lot of different aspects that can go into what the moon means from you.
Yeah, the moon in Capricorn. So that's a moon is in detriment.
So I was like, how do I save my moon from detriment? I want a happy moon. You don't have a happy moon.
Usually it's like somebody with a moon in detriment probably is seen by other people as being kind of emotionally cold. But really, there's a lot of emotion.
Especially in Capricorn.
But there's a lot of emotional maturity in that. Because Capricorn really enjoys structure. And the moon is very fluid and feeling. And so that's why it doesn't really function very well. But that just means that your moon wears a different kind of costume rather than other people's. That's it. That's all it means.
Yeah, it could also it could mean like emotional patience or emotional I want to say like how do I apply structure to emotions?
Well, I would think that maybe a Saturn ruled, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So a Saturn ruled moon might mean that you have difficulty expressing your emotions. And maybe you're not very uncomfortable doing that. Maybe it suits you just fine.
Yeah.
But other people are like, oh, well, you've got kind of a problem. You're a little bit locked up.
And you're sitting there going, what the fuck do you mean by that?
Yeah. So it's just, also it could mean that your literal mother was either absent or emotionally absent, or somehow there's some sort of barrier to your being able to connect with your mother or your home, or astrology is all about reading symbols and trying to interpret meaning from them.
Yeah.
So the moon symbolizes our body, our mother, our feelings, our home, what we find comfort from, where we gain our sort of like material wealth, because also your mother can instill that in you too. Like if you have a sense of comfort and safety and security, that is very much what your moon sort of rules in your life. So having that sort of thing, all of those topics in the sign of Capricorn just means that it is ruled by a planet, Saturn, which is all about barriers and structures. It's also very ambitious, so it can climb to great heights, but it usually involves some sort of like overcoming some sort of boundaries.
And the problem with that we're faced with right now is like the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. We don't know where Saturn is in your chart. We also don't know what's going on in Taurus. Taurus is trying to Capricorn, and Taurus is also where the moon is exalted. So, for example, if you have Saturn in Taurus, now we have this mutual reception where Saturn is going to be receptive. So, and we'll actually bring
That's interesting.
In some of that, some of the positive attributes of the moon coming from that exalted reception out of Taurus. So there's like a bunch of things that are going on within your chart that will allow us to create like absolute definition around your moon. So what you get from us now is just the moon in Capricorn in detriment, as opposed to the moon and what it's sextiling or what's sextiling it, what's trining it, what's opposing it, what's squaring it, etc.
I really like Stephen Forrest as an astrologer who he's like, think of astrology as like all the planets are like characters on a stage. And sometimes in some people's charts in the play of their life, the characters, the planets are talking to each other and collaborating with each other. And then sometimes they have like animus with others, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a great amount of things that could be happening in the rest of your chart where they're helping and assisting a moon that's in detriment, or maybe conflicting with a moon that's in detriment. And we can't see the whole of your chart in order to tell you what's up. Yeah, but like me and Baldoni, okay, we have very similar charts. The most important planet in anybody's chart is the ruler of their ascendant. So both of us, me and Baldoni, both have Mercury as our ascendant ruler, and both of us have Mercury in.
So does Cosmic Urgency.
Our Mercuries, me and Baldoni, both have Mercury as they call it malefic enclosure. It means the two malefic planets are kind of like sending beams on either side and like holding it hostage, kind of.
It's a malefic sandwich, right? You got one bad guy, you got another bad guy, and then you got your guy right in the middle.
I know.
So it's kind of
me and Baldoni both have this. I think that it affects him in very obvious ways. It affects me probably in less obvious ways, but man, it's not easy. So, but that's just to say, like, there are other planets that factor into how a planet is being expressed because they all communicate and collaborate with each other. So without seeing your whole chart, I can't really say much.
Yeah, there's exactly. I mean, we can tell you like what some basic definition around the moon is in Saturn based Capricorn. We can talk about, what your ascendant, generally means, but until we can see how it's aspected, we can't possibly know any more of the details. And the other thing is that, as you might guess, each house and planet has significations, and those significations are rather broad stroked compared to how it might apply to the native. So if like for example, I have
the native being the person who's
being the birth
is,
chart,
yeah.
the person who owns the birth chart, the promise, the person with the promise. That's what they call astrology. A birth chart is, they call it the promise, the promise of the life, the promise of the natal, the
natal promise,
the natal promise. So in my chart, I have a third house sun, Capricorn. I'm in my Capricorn season. My birthday will be coming up here in January. Another one. And, I'm grateful for them. Everyone's like, oh, I'm getting older. That's a fucking point, bro.
It's privilege.
Yeah. When you stop getting older, guess what that means?
Yeah. I hope we all continue to get older.
That's why we celebrate life, because it's still there.
Yep.
I have that in a stellium. A stellium is when there are 3 or more planets together in a clump in any given house. I have a stellium there with Venus and Mercury in my 3rd house. And there's a lot of technicalities to it that I won't bore you with, but can explain a lot of some of the tumultuousness I've gone through in my career and through communications and even in my writing and so on and so forth. And that's really where I'm going with my point. Mercury is a very broad-based planet. It can mean a lot of things: intellect, speech, writing. It has a lot to do with tricksters or duplicities. Unlike any of the other planets, which carry either a masculine or feminine quality to them, or a yin or a yang quality. Mercury is what do you call it? What do you call it when it can be both? Anyway, it can either be male or feminine energy, masculine or feminine energy, depending on why
are you talking about Mercury?
Well, because I'm talking about that as one of the rulers, for example.
Yeah. This is okay.
Cancer is great. No,
Slocum
Cancer explains everything. Kylie DiCaprio's Cancer. Cancer what? I mean, I would have guessed that. I would have guessed that you would have had some kind of strong Cancer.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
because Kylie DiCaprio is one of the kindest people I've ever seen in any chat in my entire life.
Yes.
And that you have a prominent Cancer placement says so much, because those people are very
patient, kind, emotionally stable, nourishing.
Yes.
Maternal and motherly.
Yep.
Like you can feel.
It's a really wonderful house.
They make you feel safe. They make you feel comfortable, non-confrontational. They'll put fires out, water-based,
Yes. All the water signs are very, their efforts are toward harmonization.
Yeah. Harmony, deep emotional contact, or in some cases, talking to you, Scorpio, deep emotional, wounds could be that, but just lots of deep emotions.
I think the only bad thing about Cancer, and it's not always bad. It's obviously, everything is a duality and a balance of duality, but in astrology. But Cancers are usually very fixated on the past. So that could be detrimental to some people if they can't really...
Ruled by the moon, by the way. Cancers are ruled by the moon.
Anyway, but I wanted to go back to Slocum. We were talking about Slocar's Capricorn moon.
Yeah.
But Slocum also said that their sun is in Sagittarius. And that's a really interesting balance of influences.
Yeah.
Because a Sagittarius sun is probably going to make you extremely gregarious and very creative and outgoing in your search for knowledge, and you're probably have a really, really broad-minded view of the world.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just
probably
it's such an interesting,
insatiable curiosity for the world too.
It's such an interesting combination with the moon and Capricorn. So you're not going to feel emotionally stifled. You're going to feel like like you're completely satisfied with like pursuing the solar goals of achieving knowledge and wisdom of the world in your Sagittarius. It's Sagittarius sun is very, they're usually really outgoing, like life of the party type people.
Ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the most buoyant of the benefic planets.
That's
there
a
are
good
only
word.
two. It's very it's very expansive. Jupiterian. Very expansive people who have like another thing that I think Sag Sun is. There are people who can kind of communicate to like culturally, like they can relate culturally
Oh yeah, for
to
sure.
pretty much anybody. Like it wouldn't take a Sag Sun very long to sit with anybody from any part of the world and start to immediately relate, and not only relate, but like, even get excited for, admire, and want to learn and consume more about that either region or culture or whatever it might be.
Yeah, like their creative impulses towards expanding their knowledge about stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's such a great
That's a big
attribute.
deal. Yeah.
Cosmic Urgency wants to know your birth date.
January 16th.
It's in your book too.
It's in my book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because you talk about Jerry has the same birthday, and you guys have a whole.
I'll read that scene
on your birthday.
Yeah, I will.
That's great.
I'll read that scene on my birthday.
Well, I hope I didn't bore
By the way,
everybody.
so Shannon says that she's celebrating in a pub in Ireland.
Oh, I know. I love this so much. Okay, so Shannon O said, I'm gonna go to a pub that is doing Irish New Year's. They celebrate midnight at 7 p.m., which is the Irish midnight, and then you can go home. And Mescalero said, oh, Shannon, that sounds perfect. And you can leave without saying goodbye to anyone. Because you know the saying, the Irish goodbye?
No, what is it?
It's you just leave the party. You don't say anything.
Is that an Irish goodbye?
You did an Irish goodbye.
I kind of gave my friends in Ireland an Irish goodbye about fucking 15 years ago.
You
or
just
whatever it was.
split without saying goodbye to
I
anybody.
left LA and I haven't talked to them since practically.
Really
I love them dearly. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe on Wednesday we'll do an Irish countdown. We'll do a countdown for Ireland. We'll do the Irish.
We'll be on Irish time.
We'll observe the Irish New Year's, Irish pub New Year's. We'll celebrate halfway through the show. We'll do a countdown. We'll figure it out. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. Look, these are very slow times in stories and stuff. So we're just gonna bring old stories. I love that Layla was able to come here. I hope Layla didn't get too blown away by my passionate response.
I think it turned out okay.
Yeah, I like her, man. I like her coming around and whatever it was. I'm obviously so obvious. I'm so what was the word? I am so I'm just grateful when somebody reads my book. I mean, that's a who was it? It was somebody who was reading. I think it was Layla who said, it's big, but it reads fast, And I just always think about like, oh yeah, somebody gets the book and you're like, fuck. I don't know if I'm going to do this, buddy. You're fucking taking up my time. So it's always a thrill when people pick it up and get through it. You know what I mean?
It's not that hard to get through either. It's like it's such a page turner because it's just all dialogue. So. Oh,
so Cosmic Urgency. So the way this works, just so you know, so the hierarchy of
what?
Of the big three in astrology is ascendant is always number one.
The ascendant is the only placement of your entire birth chart that exclusively describes you. That your ascendant sign is all about you, and the ruler of your ascendant is probably the most important planet wherever it is on your chart.
Yeah.
That is the director. Chani Nicholas describes it as like that's who's steering your ship.
Correct.
So whatever planet rules your ascendant is the one that is going to be wherever it's placed. That is going to be a major focal point in your life.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's why Aries, Scorpios, Aquarius, and Capricorns, they're all ruled by malefics. They're ruled by Saturn and Mars. And so they all have, kind of very interesting dynamics that you work with because of those rulers, particularly like a day chart, a Capricorn day chart, a Capricorn night chart, right? A Capricorn night chart is ruled by a malefic Saturn out of sect. And an out of sect Saturn, which is a Saturn that would better be placed in a day chart under the circumstances, it just creates interesting tension and dynamics in an individual say, then it would, then something like a Jupiter ruled sign or a Venus ruled sign. Like, if you're Taurus, Taurus rising and you're, a night chart where Venus is the sort of the night benefic. That is just so auspicious in every possible way. But so to explain that means cosmic energy that as a Libra rising, or sorry, as a Virgo rising, Mercury is your big planet. Where that planet is in your chart is a major deal for you. And then because you're in a night chart, the second most influential planet or most important planet, you'll call it, on your chart is the moon, where the moon is.
Yeah.
In this case, 12th sun, 12th.
And we know that you're born at
house
night because
Leo.
your sun is in Capricorn, and in the chart that is below the horizon.
That is below
so
the
that's
horizon.
in the lower 6 houses.
Yep.
And the upper 6 houses is the daytime at the time you were born.
Yeah, and then of course the sun in Capricorn, is Wait, he's got a sun in Capricorn too?
That's what you said, right? Sun in Capricorn, Virgo rising, Leo moon, right?
He's got moon. He's got sun cap. Oh, when are you born? Hey, I told you. You tell me. When are you born?
Yeah, it's a January birthday, right?
Yeah, is it a January? Well, no, it can be.
Oh, that's
it's
true.
Cap right now. It's Cap season now. I need to know the date of your birth, sir. And by the way, you should send me a fake name, and I'll send you my book because I really think you should read. I think you should read. You said you're going to watch new movies that you haven't seen. Well, you should read a book you haven't read.
Cosmic Urgency is saying, then why do they always go with the sun?
Well,
the reason why
they don't.
Okay, yeah. Pop astrology is bullshit. Sun
Yeah.
sign astrology is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that. It's like
Well, not everybody does know that. The problem is people are finding that out.
People who study and practice astrology learn that pretty early.
The answer
on.
is simple.
But the sun is a very significant factor in your life. So
Major.
the big three do matter. The sun is your creative life force. It is the creative work that you do for yourself and only for yourself. It exists without any respect or any interference with anything outside of the world, right? So the sun being the center of our universe around which everything revolves, think about that within you, and that is the solar life force within yourself. It's like your spirit that's trying to do creative work out in the world. So your sun is placed in your 5th house, which is a really, really excellent, wonderful place for a sun placement, because that means that your creative life, that you're going to feel more connected with your sense of purpose when you do creative work in the world. The 5th house rules your joyful creative expression, your engagement with children, like if you ever hang out with or raise children and they sort of connect you with your childlike play self, Also, any of the
what was the original question though? Because you went off on something it was totally different.
why do they always go with the sun?
Well, so let me answer that question. So the reason is because time of birth is the only way to come up with the ascendant, and it has to be exact. And if it's even a few minutes off, it can completely fuck up the whole chart and screw everything up. Whereas the sun is based only on the date of birth. So when they wanted to popularize or create some sort of little attraction for astrology, the only way that they could guide people to anything meaningful was with the sun. They don't know if you're a day or night chart. That's a very individual thing. And they also can't speak to ascendants in something like a magazine where they're going to give you, what's up, Capricorn? So, and because the sun is such a primary, major, I mean, they're all major. There's nothing not major about any planet in your chart. But because the sun is so much a part of what makes you up as an individual astrologically, that's why they included in these and they created this thing. And the problem with it, though, is that unless your sun is with your ascendant, then the major element, astrological element that makes up your personality is missing. And so that's why a lot of times people will read sun horoscopes and be like, that's not me at all. And that has happened to me time and time again.
Yeah, that's
of course because my ascendant
that's my perspective.
is Scorpio.
But that's my perspective too, because I was born at night. So my moon sign is going to be my primary luminary.
And you're a 12th house Leo moon.
Yeah.
So
Cosmic Urgency, we're almost twins.
you guys are, that's insane. I'm just telling you, like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is interesting. Cosmic Urgency says, I do not like being around children. And this is because your sun is in Capricorn in your 5th house. So your 5th house is Capricorn, is Saturn ruled. This means that when you do creative work, you probably really, really appreciate having structure. You also, if you do creative work and you get good at something, you're going to want to be a teacher and you're going to want to teach other people how to do it. That's something that could connect you with your sense of purpose. Like if you feel like you're ever like unmoored, like you don't know what to do with your life, you should try and become a mentor to someone else, because that's going to connect you to the little solar embers within you that are trying to put your, illuminate yourself in the broader scope of the world, you know? It's just interesting when you look at where your sun is in your chart. That's where you can sort of like do some work to connect with where your sense of belonging in the world and the work you're supposed to be doing.
By the way, didn't I send you those charts that we were supposed to look at? Did we not do that?
We didn't do that.
Oh shit, we got to do that. I sent you the charts, right?
Yeah.
We got to do that. Whose was that?
I fucked up. I just had a super busy weekend.
Well, it's the holidays. It's not surprising.
I feel bad.
I just remembered because I was like, oh, I'll just tell somebody.
Well, that was astrocartography, right?
Yeah, we got to look at some astrocartography.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Actually, I didn't tell you this, but that super expensive astrology software that we bought, they just got a major astrology, whatever.
Oh, this is a perfect opportunity.
Just got it just the other day.
Okay, that's great.
Free free upgrade or whatever.
Okay.
You guys are wonderful. We are 2 hours, 15 minutes into this. I can't believe you're not bald with it. You guys are super fucking awesome. I'm sorry that I keep going out of frame. There's something going wrong here. I knocked something out and I got to fix it. My camera moved. I don't know why. Did you move that camera? Did you kick it?
No, I didn't.
My book is out. And
we got to fix it.
It's always something in these little small studios.
Oh,
well, anyway.
Cosmic Urgency said, I don't like trying to explain stuff to people.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that's, speaks a little bit to your 7th house. I'd love to see, or when your 11th, I'd love to see what's going on there.
Your moon is in Leo too, so you're going to want to keep to yourself.
Especially emotionally, but
yeah.
There's a lot. Actually, a moon in
Leo. I'm sorry, moon in Leo in the 12th house specifically.
Yeah, but there's
moon in Leo certainly does not want to keep to themselves. But when it's in your 12th house, you kind of just want to like hide away and just stay in your house and not deal with anybody.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, but it is Leo after all.
So
there's more to it than that for sure. I've looked at some really interesting charts of famous people with moons in Leo in the 12th, or just moons in the 12th in general.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually it's got some surprising elements to it that I didn't see coming. We'll get into it later, though. Let's do it another day.
Okay.
You guys are fucking awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys are wonderful. We'll be back. We're going to do the Irish countdown.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do on Wednesday. All right, guys. We'll see you guys.